All right. We are live.
Get the party started. Yep, this went live on my.
Yeah, we're live. What's up? What's up? What's going on, chat room? What's up? Are we looking good? Everything's good? Everything's straight? Let me see with the chat. Yeah, everything's looking good. Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, I'm saying people are saying finally. Yeah, we running late. You know, we running hood time right now. You know, that's what we're doing. Right? You know, say we fashionably late. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, 60 frames no lag, with your only friend these YouTube streets. Yo, right here, and then of course we got Optimus Code up in here. You know, he's gonna drop some knowledge. Y'all want to talk about tools? Now y'all want tools. Now it's tools. Y'all didn't even like a screwdriver, but now y'all want the whole craftsman set. y'all got shook over a screwdriver, but now you want the whole mechanic shop. Now it's all about the toolings. Yo, this man, Optimus Code out there, he came in like, listen, Optimus Code came in like Jesus. All right, he's coming in here. Whoa. He came in like Jesus. He tried to provide y'all the scripture. He's like, listen, people, cut it out. It's about toolings. It's about development. It's about skill sets. He mentioned all these words for months, right? And what y'all do, y'all lashed him. You put a crown of thorns on his head. You threw tomatoes. You made him walk the mile. And now look. Yeah, yo, listen. Right now, you got Optimus Code looking like Thanos right now. You guys simply couldn't live with your failures. And now who are you running back to? Listen. Yo, we're going to talk about it, right? We're going to talk about it. And then, of course, we got Craig, the voice of Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Craig, you're not doing a good job being a voice of Xbox. I don't know what's going on in the streets. You got to put your people in check. You got to do something.
They are in check. They're being very quiet over the last, I say, 72 hours.
Yo.
So they've been put in check.
It's crazy, man. But anyway, hopefully the other cast panel members, I think Jay Barry is doing another booty call. So he may or may not be here. And I think J-Dub is out there destroying Xbox Live, so we'll see. But, we'll make do here. We got perfect. We definitely got Optimus Coles. He could definitely give you great information on this. But, gentlemen, how are you doing? How has been your launch week?
For me?
Well, let's start with Optimus Cole, because I don't think you even got... We'll start with Optimus, because I don't think you got the PS5, right?
Yeah, I'm very quick. I don't have the bag. That's it.
Oh, shit. So, Optimus, how's been your launch experience?
Bro, man, I've been gaming for 40 years, and this is probably the most fun I've ever had at the beginning of a console generation other than the Nintendo 64. Man, this is just phenomenal, bro. I don't know, I spent maybe 2 weeks with Mario 64 because it was so revolutionary at the time. And it's like that same feeling has been recaptured here with the PS5. I love everything about it. There are a couple of quality of life improvements I want them to make, but other than petty stuff like that, man, the store is fabulous. Shit, I done bought 2 titles just because they was in the store. Probably won't play them for 2 or 3 months. I like the way the UI is. I love the new dashboard. I love the game. I love that damn controller, that DualSense, Astro Bot. I was dreaming about Astro Bot, man. I literally dreamed I was swimming around in the water at Bot Beach. It is just fabulous, man. I am in love with gaming and the PS5. No cap, no hyperbole, none of that. This is legit how I feel. It's fabulous.
Yeah, man. I kind of have the same sentiment. Just PS5, just everything about it just feels great. Even and I didn't even talk much about the UI, but it feels great. The UI is just impressive. It gives you a fresh feeling that you're actually using a new console and stuff like that. And I don't know how to explain it, because at first, when they show, here's the thing. The YouTube videos just doesn't give you the feel of you actually using and controlling it. Everything is just smooth, it's fast. And when you boot up into the game, oh my God. My God. Just simply
Bro.
just selecting a game and it just goes into it. And then I learned about the activity cards. You select the activity card and it even bypasses the menu on any game.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, yo, this is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, what's your opinion on the controller? Because I know you were big on that.
Bro, I get a controller 15 out of 10.
Wow.
And I agree with that. It's just it's a game changer.
It is.
So
with them, so they tweeted out today that Steam has gotten Steam has DualSense support with full functionality coming in a couple of months or just later. And that is even better news because now we can pretty much be assured that all of the multiplats will have DualSense support.
Oh, yes.
If they can pull that off, we don't have to worry about, because like right now, it's a little wondering game like, okay, will this game take advantage of DualSense? Will that game take advantage of DualSense? With the moves they're making out here with making it available for Steam, it's not a guarantee, but it's pretty close to a guarantee that, okay, pretty much all the big AAA multiplats, even some of the smaller indies will actually have full DualSense support, man. And I think that's great.
That was a smart move because I from the get-go, from the moment, just using a controller, I said to myself, this needs to be the standard. This can't just be. This just can't be. It's like Rumble or Dual Analogs.
Exactly.
You can't contain it to just one platform. It has to spread out. This has to be enjoyed by everybody. So I think that is a brilliant move. Sony said, you know what, Steam, you could use it. PC, have at it. Just use the tech, because that's the only way to standardize it and get guaranteed that developers are willing to do it. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know?
Yep. And I tweeted that the other day, like this guy, I think it was yesterday. A PlayStation fan was like, I wanted to stay only on PlayStation.
Oh.
I'm like, no, you don't. Like, do you understand that if we get this everywhere, how it benefits PlayStation gamers?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't care. I'm like, bro, that's not how development works, man.
Yeah, man. Because I would imagine you as a developer, right? Sure, you as a developer, you're fond of technology, because it's something you love, right? But at the end of the day, you are putting in hours. You want to go home too, right? And you don't want to spend extra hours doing something specific to just one platform when you're making games for every platform. Sometimes it's just not worth it.
Exactly, and especially because if I got a publisher and they paying, they're not going to want to drop that bag to do, some of the big AAA ones will, like Rockstar, because they can afford it or whatever. But a lot of these titles is like, why would we pay this extra money just for this one platform when our sales going to be the same?
Exactly. It's not going to change.
Exactly, yeah.
So
with it being widespread now, and that's exactly what I was hoping for. I found a tweet, and I sent it to y'all. It was yesterday or the day before. I'm like, well, ideally what will happen is just Sony will share what they have with everybody. We don't need PC making their own. We don't need Xbox making their own. We need everybody using this one. And it'll be better if Sony would share it, create some APIs, and just like open source it to distribute it to everybody. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. This is the best case scenario for PlayStation gamers, if they can see it or not. Yeah,
and I think that's a message I think even the hardcore PlayStation gamers need to understand. This is the next evolution of Rumble, and you can't contain it to one. It's literally, and what's insane is there are some people, and this is where you truly see the fanboy. At a certain point, you got to be honest with the conversation, right?
Exactly.
And you see in some people, I wouldn't even say skeptical. They're already trying to downplay it. So my first question I ask them is, hey, if Microsoft took away Rumble support from your console, meaning no more Rumble, would you be cool with that? And they were like, hell no. I'm like, why? Oh, because it adds immersion. And then I give them like the staring face. Like, do you understand now? Like, can do I have to explain how stupid? Like, can you link the two conversations now on why DualSense is important? If you guys are enjoying Rumble on your controller, this is like, let's put it this way. if you like beef and you like hamburgers, this is like a sirloin steak. This is like beyond, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is like if you like them fake ass pizzas that you buy in the supermarket, you put in the oven. Well, this motherfucker is fresh pizza straight from Italy. This is huge. Like this is something. Real deal. Yeah, this is something that you already like. Taking it on levels that listen, no video can actually explain this shit. Like you just have to put it in your hands. Like even like when you play Astro Bot, right? Before you even play the game, it does that controller demonstration. Like the 5 things. That alone blew my mind.
Bro,
that thing was, I was like, and I even did like a little video. I'm like, yo, I even did a YouTube video on it. It blew my mind. Like all the little things you see on screen, you actually feel it. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like even
bro, so
go ahead.
I know I'm interrupting Rock, but like, and I don't mean to be rude, but like I like the way you are phrasing this. So it's 2 things I want to say. Yeah. The first thing is when you really like sing the praises of the DualSense, people are automatically going to assume, well, the doubters and the naysayers, they're going to automatically assume you just exaggerating because you want PlayStation to quote unquote win, and you just exaggerating because you just capping so hard for PlayStation. It's a gimmick. It ain't all that. It's a blah blah blah, and they want to be real dismissive of it, right? Yeah. Because we just giving it glowing praise. So the first thing I want to say is, like, this is not hyperbole. This is legit. The controller is that next gen. The controller is the real deal. And the second thing I want to say, Rock, I really like how you phrased it. Like, it can't be contained to just one platform. Right. This is the next evolution of the controller. And you are 100% right, bro. This does not belong to just PlayStation. This belongs to gaming.
Yeah. And the fact that they are going to be driving that, like Code was saying, how they're just going to, release it and let other people possibly build upon it, but they're going to, control it. This is good news for them. They did say they were going to be more open in what they were going to do this generation. I mean, that was what Jim Ryan had preached about. That's why he got the job. There's ways to introduce people in the PC community to Sony's products without giving away the farm. And that's what a lot of the fanboys, like Optimus, is talking about. They don't delineate between the two. They're gonna, this is under the radar. Code is right. I did not see this at all. I just looked it up. It was on Eurogame, or whatever it's called, Eurogamer. Yeah, that's the hardline source. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
but Code is right. It doesn't. It's beta, so it may be in beta for 6 months. But it's in beta, so it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of how they add it, and it also does. And Code is correct. I agree. All the multi-plat games, they'll have the ability to use it. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, it's a higher probability now, much higher probability that we will get full support for DualShock in all these top-level multi-plats.
Yeah, which is something Cole said, I believe, the other day when somebody was talking about multiplayer games on Twitter, and I think it was you, Cole, who said something. I'm just paraphrasing here. You said something like, "Well, as long if the developers do the immersion tech that Sony offers, Sony's going to always have the best version of multiplayer games."
Yeah, that was today. Yeah,
that was today. Okay, that's what it was. All right, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm old, so my days run together. My flip phone. shout out to Luca and Ash and Luca in the chat. My flip phone didn't wake me up, so my days are running together.
What up, Luca? How you doing, Queen?
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Luca. Thank you for the support. She said, "What up, brothers? 15 hours into Demon Souls. The controller in 3D audio is insanely awesome for immersion. Loving my PS5 and enjoying next gen. I know she has both consoles. She is living like a queen. She got everything in the world and stuff like that. My boy, the Ruham." He said, "What's good, P-Rock? Post up is still on his rant. Yo, he can't take an L for nothing." Yo, when the dude, oh my God, oh man, I'm gonna go after that dude. He lying. That dude is straight lying on that. Yeah, he said that PlayStation 5 doesn't have auto low latency mode, And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
What? Yeah, it does.
yeah, like you turn on the console, it detects game mode, and the console goes into game mode, right?
Yeah, I've seen you
yeah,
all load your games. Stuff like that. It does it. Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this dude is bugging, right? And then it's funny. So anyway, that's for another time and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, shout out. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the chat. But let's talk about this. All right. So we have the consoles in our hands. It's in our hands. It's no longer.
No, you have them in your hands. You have them in your hands.
I haven't yet. Optimus got it. For those of us that are lucky. All right.
Yes.
It's out. Let's put it this way: it's out in the streets. We got White Zaddy that Craig calls him. He calls White Zaddy is Digital Foundry. That's what he called. That's what Craig he calls Digital Foundry White Zaddy. So White Zaddy he has the games. He has the consoles. There's no more anonymity, meaning no one can hide behind what might happen. Like no one could make things and now make statements and no longer could be disproven, right? Because that's what in reality, would you agree, Optimist, that over the last couple of months, people have been making claims because they simply can't be disproven because there's no product? Does that make sense?
I agree with that 100%, and I have been all over Twitter crying loudly, stop making these promises. Stop with these absolute claims. But, y'all know the story on that.
Yeah, so people make claims, right? Because they can't be disproven, right? You just, like, if you can't disprove it, they just kept doing it. People making claims of, Xbox running ray tracing 4 times better than 2080 Ti. Well...
Uh-oh. Who said that?
Oh, yeah. Who said that? I'll help you. Let me find that. Well, so let me finish the conversation, then I'll find it and I'll post it on the screen.
Go ahead. Yeah,
right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So everybody's making these claims. 40 to 50 frame advantage over the PS5. Just constant metrics of, hardware ray tracing versus software. 4 times better. 40 to 50 frame advantage. And they were allowed to make these statements month over month over month over month, right? Xbox version is going to be native 4K 60 ray tracing, while the PlayStation 5 version is going to be dynamic or 1440p 60 frames or whatever, right? All these constant metrics and comparisons, and they were allowed to do it week over week, month over month, because you can't disprove them because the consoles aren't out, right? And then they add things that don't make sense, like, well, Sony has announced their console, so obviously it's true. I'm like, what? Like, how is that a logical reasoning? So because Sony didn't announce or show the console the day you want it, it must be true. Like, that's not how evidence works. So they kept at it month after month after month after month, right? And now we have the consoles. They're on the streets. They're in the hands of consumers. They're in the hands of tech enthusiasts who can actually play both, right? There's no longer spec sheets or whatever. It's you actually buy the game, you put the game, install it, and play it. And it is nowhere near what these guys have been predicting over the last 9 months. Not only if it's nowhere near, some games are actually running better on the PlayStation.
Well, all the games are running better, right? From what I can gather. Right? And I'm not trying to fanboy. If you're talking about multi-plat games, you finished with your setting it up? My bad.
Yeah.
All right, you finished it
up. Not only that, look at some of the things, right? Some of the multi-plats are running better on the PS5, right? Now, I'm not saying the PS5 is more powerful. I'm not saying that at all, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm just talking about reality. Some of the multi-plats are running on PS5 better, right? The best example of ray tracing is a PS5 game. Spider-Man Miles Morales. It is the best example of ray tracing. Even Digital Foundry said, don't compare Watch Dogs Legions to Miles Morales. It's going to lose. It's not on the same level. Morales.
If White Zaddy said that, then you know it's true.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, a lot of people say the best looking game is not even the 4K. It's Demon Souls, and it's 1440p.
Yeah.
Which shows native 4K is not the end-all be-all. You understand what I'm saying?
Quality.
Right? And here's the thing. This is not me predicting information. This is stuff that people are saying because the content is available. It's out. People are playing it. They're playing it in their homes. You know what I'm saying? Local YouTube channels will do comparisons. They're doing live comparisons with these games. It's available, right? So, Optimus, what happened? From a Dev experience, what happened? How did this happen? Like, what went wrong? Because the Xbox Series X has this number called 12 T-flops, and the PS5 is 9.2. These are the numbers that's been told and beat down in everybody's head over and over to ad nauseum. Like, we can't even say the PlayStation is 10 point, what is it? 10.23 T-flop. We're not allowed to say that because you can't hold it consistently. So it's 9.2. So Optimus, as a developer, as a person with true knowledge and education, help a dude who maybe at best have a third grade education in the realm of game development. Help me out.
I don't need to help you out, Rock, because you don't. This has nothing to do with game development expertise and none of that. This is just simple, everyday common sense from off the streets. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, and do not make a bunch of absolute claims that you can't prove.
So in other words, don't write checks you ain't actually cashing.
Fact.
Don't make statements about game development if you're not developing the game yourself.
Bro, and here's the thing, and so you've heard me say this a bunch of times, Rock. I've said it here on this show. People are so disproportionately focused on the hardware that they think all you have to do is get a really nice hardware spec sheet, and everything else is just going to magically teleport into place. I have said over and over, stop focusing on the hardware. Focus on dev skill and talent, tooling and compilers, resources, and time. That's what makes the best game. We have seen superior dev teams with superior tools and superior time and resources make better games than their equivalents with better hardware. Why? Because the synergy of the dev team, the tools, and the hardware is greater than the hardware alone in isolation. And they continue to focus disproportionately on this one piece. It's a triangle, and all 3 points of the triangle have to be in balance. If one of those is off, the whole thing crumbles, and it's that simple. You need synergy of the entire system, and the entire system includes all of the hardware, all of the tools and software, and the dev team. Those 3 have to be in synergy. And if either one of them is off, you're going to have a problem, period. But people want to focus on the hardware. So they look at this spec sheet, and some kind of way they have this thing in their mind, right, like how like the PC works, and I get so tired of seeing this misrepresented, because they'll compare like a 2080 Ti to a 2070, and like the GPU can do this, and the GPU like, stop, the GPU can't do shit by itself. The GPU is one component in an already beefed out system. If you are CPU limited, that GPU, putting a bigger GPU is going to have no effect. Like, it is not true that you can gauge graphics and performance just by a GPU. So they continue to do it anyway, and they keep on. And now at the end of the day, here we are. We got all this stuff in our hands, and now all of these claims is being exposed as fake. All of these experts are being exposed as frauds, because any real tech expert is going to tell you, you can't just look at this hardware, especially on paper. We need to get the system out and get real world specs. Paper is aspirational. This is what they hope to accomplish. We don't know how that shit gonna pan out until we get them in our hands. I've said it repeatedly, so here we are. You don't need to be no expert in game dev to know any of that. All you got to do is have common sense. Don't talk about shit you don't know what you're talking about. Wait until you can prove it, and then make your claims. That's it.
Gotcha. Oh, hold on.
My question is, why do you guys think they compared an AMD untested product, like Code saying, something on paper, to NVIDIA stuff that actually people had in their computers, whether it was a 2060 or 2070 or 2080. And they were saying that I do remember people saying that, I do remember, because Porter, that kind of shook my memory there. Yeah. I do remember people saying that the Xbox Series X was supposed to be on the level of a 2080. But I got told by a computer engineer that the way it's going to perform is closer to a 2060, but to hold my own horses, because AMD's stuff hadn't even been field tested yet. Like, we still don't know about Big Navi. We know that it may outperform, like the 6800 is outperforming right now the 3070. But we don't know about the 3080, 3090 yet, because they haven't had a chance to field test them yet. But I just don't like
specific workloads anyway. That's not all
correct. Yeah, correct. But but why?
Wait. Not to interrupt. I just want to before we get deep into this topic, I want to say, number one, we got the Ashen Luca here now, girl, my sister from another mister.
Yes, what is that?
I'm so glad you showed up, because I definitely got a question for you later on. It's not a setup. It has to deal with the Souls games. It has to deal with the Souls games. All right.
Okay.
All right. Wait, before I ask, did you ever play the original Souls games on the PS3?
The original Demon Souls, or all of them?
No, the original Demon Souls. Did you ever get a chance to play that?
Oh, Rob, can you turn her up? I can barely hear.
Okay, so yeah, let me adjust your mic. Okay, there we go. Did you ever play the original Demon Souls on the PS3?
I played 1-1. I played some of 1-1, but I was like, I can't abide by this frame rate, and I figured.
So you stopped. So you pretty much stopped. Okay, all right, good. So then my question still applies. Okay, so later on, I'm gonna ask you a question on that.
No, let's talk about that now.
Now? All right. Okay, cool. So we'll talk about that. So here's my questions, because I know you're a big Souls type gamer, right? You play Dark Souls and all that stuff, right? Bloodborne. I know you play that game too.
Yes.
Now that you're playing Demon Souls, what would you rate the difficulty of Demon Souls compared to the rest of the Dark Souls games that you play? Other than Sekiro, because I think Sekiro they added difficulty on crack to that one. So outside of Sekiro, shall I die twice? But Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, where would you rate and line up the difficulty of that game compared to those titles?
I think that Demon Souls is the most difficult for me, because of the areas. Now, in Dark Souls and Bloodborne, they have it so you can loop back into the areas, so you can open up shortcuts and loop back into one another, so you can go to the same fireplace just from different angles, right?
This one Dark Souls, can't. No, they don't do that shit here.
It's been pretty rough, man, because it's like not only is it's really confusing.
Yes.
A lot of these worlds are very confusing. So you have to learn the layout. But as you're learning the layout, a lot of it is very maze-like the Stone Fang tunnel. Yeah. So that's 2-1, 2-2. Those worlds are very confusing. And then the Tower of Latria is extremely confusing.
Yes.
Because once again, it's super dark there, right? And it's like all the floors look the same, just from a first glance sort of thing. So I remember I spent an hour and a half figuring out everything going on in the Tower of Latria by myself. You got to go pick up keys and everything, right? Yeah. Now the biggest thing is it's the lack of shortcuts. Because you have to learn and go through the entire area without having a shortcut. That's been the most difficult for me. Now there are certain areas for the Valley of Defilement, you get a shortcut there, and you get a shortcut in 1-1, right?
Yeah.
But for the for the Tower of Latria, I saw not a shortcut in sight. I was looking around where's the shortcut? Not here. So that's been the most difficult world for me.
Yes. There is no God. There is no God. Yeah, there's no God for you here.
That sounds fun to me. It's difficult.
I warn people that because and the reason why I ask, because not a lot of people play Demon Souls. It was actually a niche game that just it just blew up, right? It just blew up on PS3. And a lot of people didn't own the PS3 because it was expensive, Blu-ray player, don't have no games. PS3 had a lot of issues, right? So this I think Demon Souls was one of the gems that the PS3 had, right? So a lot of people started playing with Dark Souls 1 because it went multiplat, right? So Namco, Bandai Namco Software, they found a loophole because Demon Souls, the actual IP, is owned by Sony. So they couldn't make a Demon Souls 2 multiplat. So they found a loophole, Dark Souls, right? Mm-hmm. But when I play Dark Souls, just like you, it's a great game, but they made it a bit easier because of the shortcuts. So you were able to do that. And I'm thinking, man, it's cool. It's no big deal. The one thing I like about Dark Souls was it's a more open world game connected, right? So it had its trade-offs, right? While, Demon Souls is like you said, sectors, hubs, right? Yes. But I warn people I warn a lot of friends that are Dark Souls fans, and I'm telling them, Demon Souls is going to be different. Even though, I don't think you guys realize what you're going to run into. It's not like Dark Souls. They're like, nah, I play Bloodborne. I'm like, all right. All my friends are like, yo, Portorock, what the fuck? Like, there's no shortcut anywhere. Like, you leave that fireplace, you're done. Like, you better be good. I'm like, I'm telling you, this shit is not easy. Like, this place will fuck you up. Like, if you're not properly planning, the game is hard. Like, and I just wanted your perspective, and you hit it right on the nose. There's no shortcuts, or very little.
I definitely think it's the hardest because of the lack of shortcuts. Now, that being said, it's the areas that are the most difficult for me. The bosses are fine. Yeah. Actually, out of all the bosses I fought, the only one I had issues with was Maneater, but that's just because he kept flying away. Yeah. And then his AI got stuck and he disappeared in the middle of my boss fight. I was recording it too. I was like, where did he go? You're like, where is he? He's gone.
Luca's like, pussy!
Like, he ran away. I'm like, yo, you're fucking. So I had to restart that fight. And then, honestly speaking, I've died the most to fucking gravity of just me losing my. I'm like, oh, I lost my footing and I fell to my death.
Oh, that happens all the time.
It's so irritating.
That's like the key mark for that game. Like when you see a ledge, watch out.
Yeah,
you're gonna fall somehow.
And it's super irritating, like having to fight enemies in super narrow spaces too. I'm just like, bro, like what the hell, dude?
And if you have like a big weapon like a staff, you're screwed.
You're screwed, right?
Yeah, like why do I have this staff?
My Claymore's been knocking all on the walls and everything. I'm like, bro, you're fucking joking, right? Like this shit is ridiculous. And then I was in the where was I? Okay, so I was in the Tower of Latra, right? And I got plagued, like I got attacked by a black phantom on my way to the Fool's Idol, right? I'm sitting there like, why does plague take 5 years to go away? Like, it takes 5 years to go. It's not, and then they also don't tell you when your poison is being built up when you're in the valley. So I'm just like, bro, like, what the hell is going on? Like, and then when I see like Souls players say, yeah, Demon Souls is actually pretty easy. I'm just like, damn, I don't know, man.
That's a lie. They're lying. Luca, they're just trying to impress you.
Like, yeah, they are, I don't know, man. Like I said,
They're like, Luca, the game's easy. Let me hit you up in the DM. Like, yeah, okay. Okay, good try. Good try, player.
The funniest thing about it is that, like, I've been playing the game since I got my PlayStation on Friday, right? And, I'm, like, looking around, and I see not a one screenshot from anyone who's been hyping this game up past the first area. I'm like, where are you guys at?
I'm going to be honest.
Where are the other areas
at? My excuse? I'm playing Spider-Man. The dude's flying around New York City with 10 boots. I can't help it. I can't help it. And he's Puerto Rican. I'm going to be there all day looking for every Puerto Rican flag in the game.
And I get that.
I can't help it. But when I'm done, when I'm done,
10 hours, sir. The game's 10 hours.
It's 10 hours if you're just playing the game. But when you're swinging around the city bullshitting, that's just like a lifetime. For a guy like me.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm level 62 right now, so level 62. So I've been like living in the game.
Damn, girl. Go. Yeah. Let me ask you something. Which have you been playing more, your Xbox or your PS5?
Hold on, Rock. You just dominating the guest, man. Hold on.
No. Come on, Luca. Luca, say it, Luca.
No,
I was fun, Luca. That's the question. Are you having fun?
Yes, I am having a lot of fun. Nice. That being said, I got my Xbox on Tuesday, so I was playing Destiny 2 Beyond Light and Assassin's Creed up until I got my PlayStation 5. So I think hours-wise, I have more time on the Xbox just because
Because of Destiny?
Yeah, just Destiny.
How is that Assassin's Creed? I saw you said you were really enjoying the story. So is it like a really gripping story?
Yeah, the story's really good, but I will say if you don't like Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey, you're not going to like this. It's pretty much the same formula in regards to like the gameplay. The gameplay's kind of trash in my opinion, but I'm coming from someone who plays like action games. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just kind of like meh. But the story's really good, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I am trying to get Demon Souls done so I can go back to Assassin's Creed and finish up that story. I like to play like one game at a time and focus my stuff on that. I've even like I'm really behind in Destiny right now. My buddies are looking at me like, so what? Your power level's looking a little spooky right now. I'm like, listen, I'm playing this Demon Souls right now, buddy.
Ain't it a raid that y'all trying to get ready for?
Well, I don't usually do the raids day one. I like to watch them. So
okay,
but the raid is Saturday.
Let me hit some super chat. You got Javon. He says, "Loving my PS5. Feels like PS2 level greatness." I gotta admit that this PS5 is giving me that PS2 feel that I had.
Wow, that's great news. That's great news.
And Javon, Post-Up created this false narrative, lie after lie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get Post-Up on this show and put him on trial. You know what I'm saying? He needs to go to court. He's been doing a lot of fraudulent stuff. So Optimus, I know you platinum Astro Bot.
Yes.
Like holy shit, and a lot of people are platinum in the game. So what are your thoughts about that? How did you like that?
About Astro Bot?
Yeah.
Man, again, 15 out of 10. The game is fabulous, and I just don't know what to say. Like, it is very well done. The level design is beautiful. All the nostalgia, the throwback to PlayStation history, all the stuff they're doing with the controller, the music is just very well done. And for it to be free, it gets even more of my attention because I didn't have to pay a single dime for it. She was just right there waiting for me, man. It is a beautiful experience, and I don't understand why people are hating on it.
Okay. Luca, did you get to play a little bit of Astro Bot?
Oh,
he said, screw that shit. Give me death.
No.
Give me death. She just said, screw the... She like, get this bullshit out of here. I want this hard shit.
As soon as I got my PlayStation 5, I started downloading Demon Souls. That's the only thing I've been playing, dude. I'm obsessed. So
okay, so let me ask you this: the controller, in relation to Demon Souls, can you give your opinion on it? Does it have haptic feedback? Does it do anything special?
Yeah. So at first, when I first started playing with it, I was playing with my audio on my TV. Okay. So, I wasn't really paying too close attention to like what was going on with the controller in regards to like sounds or how it was feeling. Like I could feel it, but I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, right? It wasn't until I started listening to like a Demon Souls specific podcast, right? Okay. And I turned off my TV audio, but I could still hear what was going on in the game from my controller, and I could hear myself like rolling over barrels and clanging my sword against the wall. And I was just like, oh, wow, that's actually really cool. Like I really like that. So the controller is definitely very dope. I love the UI, but I haven't been on my PlayStation 4 in like a year and a half. So this was like a new experience for me, but it wasn't like a it was a new experience for me, but it wasn't like
she said she hasn't been on a PS4 over a year. Luca, what is wrong with you?
What?
So you didn't play The Last of Us 2?
Listen, I don't know how to say this, dude, but Destiny, that's all I was playing, bro. That's all I was playing.
Oh my god, I think I'm getting a stroke. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, listen, I decided that things have to be different this generation.
My soul hurts.
I put Destiny down. I'm taking a break from it, so.
My soul hurt. You didn't play Ghost of Tsushima? Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god, I feel like throwing up. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Oh my god, I'm in pain right now. Oh, this girl's just throwing daggers at me right now. Oh my god, Luca. Luca, what are you doing? You're literally taking away PlayStation strengths. Like, you're literally handicapping it.
Like I said, I was playing Destiny, buddy. I don't know what to say. I didn't play anything because of that. So.
Oh my god! I'm gonna tell Bungie. You know what? I'm gonna go find these Bungie servers and shut this shit down.
Go ahead. Like I said, I made myself a promise. I was like, I can't only play Destiny just this generation. I have to play other stuff. So I've been leaving it alone.
So I'm gonna be honest. I know exactly where you're coming from, right? So with Destiny 1, I was like hardcore hooked on it. That I was playing nothing else. And then I realized, like, I'm literally not playing no other game other than Destiny. And, like, once I beat Destiny, I just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this again. Because if I get on that junk drive again, I'm not going to end up playing anything other than Destiny. And I know exactly what you went through. Because that was literally me. Like, I was on Destiny all the time. Doing raids or doing strikes over and over and like to ad nauseum. I just couldn't stop, and I wasn't playing anything else, nothing else, and I just had to stop.
What really did it for me is that I logged into this season, right, and everything that I worked hard for the last 2 years, everything I worked hard to earn and gain, and I spent hours in like the Crucible and in Strikes and Gambit trying to get these weapons. They're selling them now, and I was just like, you know what, Oh, that's fine. I'll go ahead and buy whatever new weapon comes out in a year.
That's some bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's some. I remember, what was it? The Destiny 1, what was that rocket launcher?
Gallahorn.
The Gallahorn. I worked so hard to get that, and I was like, yes! And like a month later, they started giving it away. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm like, yo. Oh my God, I worked so fucking hard to get that way. It just defeats the purpose. Like, it's just like, I could have got a college degree instead of this bullshit Gallahorn. I'm like, yo, this is some bullshit right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely took the wind out of my sails. And I was just like, you know, I understand why they're selling it. They're getting a lot of new players, especially the fact that it's on Game Pass. So that's like $10 for a $60 plus expansion, you know? I get it. But it just, like I said, it took the wind out of my sails. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I don't need to play it. You know, I don't need to play the game.
Because you know eventually you're going to get it anyway. I will say this. One good part is, right, the PS5 is accurate, you know, backwards compatible, which I never had an issue with BC. I had an issue with people making it the main point, but the feature in itself is a good thing, right? So you could always catch up to whatever you miss. Like, whatever you didn't get to play on a PS4, you could just always grab it, you know? Like The Last of Us 2, hint, hint, hint. You could end up playing that, you know? Now, here's my question this. Are you getting Miles Morales? Now, before you answer the question, I will say this. I'm just going to say a few key words. He's half black. He's half Puerto Rican. He's from the city. Black Lives Matter. So now I'm going to ask you again. Are you getting Miles Morales?
No, I don't play superhero games usually, but it does look interesting. It looks really pretty, honestly speaking. So I might get it just for that. I've been loving all the screenshots people have been posting in his different suits.
We got a minority Spider-Man, girl. Like, what are you doing here? We got our own superhero.
Wait, hold on a second. Am I only supposed to like him because he's a minority?
Yes!
Nah, fam.
Yes! We gotta, yo, when the going's good, we gotta get it. Right? When the going's good, we gotta get it. Because you never know when there's opportunity will ever come back around. Especially, I'm gonna tell you, the fact that he's Puerto Rican, hell yes. I don't give a shit. I want a Puerto Rican Batman up in this motherfucker.
Oh, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'd rather they create their own characters, so it's not just like a reskin. Even though I know he's not just a reskin, but you know what the how do I say, the cucks in the comic community say. Anytime there's a minority anywhere, so
there's no more superheroes left. They took them all. There's like, what's our own original superhero? A guy who plays on a salsa dish throwing tacos. We got nothing left. What other superpowers are there? They did everything. They took it all. We got nothing left. You know, I'm gonna have a superhero that throws rice and beans. Like, what's left? There's nothing.
Man, it really doesn't have to be like this. Like, goddamn.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
no, but I'm definitely considering picking it up just for the experience. It, like I said, it looks so good. It looks gorgeous. You know,
it's a fun game. It is fun. It's just a good fun game. Yeah, it's a good fun game. So let me ask this, Optimus, and this question goes to Luca. Craig. I'm sorry, I'm voting you because you ain't got the PS5. You know, and if you did, I know the game you would be playing, Mass Effect. I already know that. That's why you would be playing.
I would be playing the Spider-Man game. No, I would try to find a way to play Mass Effect. Yeah, I'd find a way.
That's what you would do, right? So here's my question: did either of you attempt, you know, and this is like, you know, because we're hardcore gamers, right? We have podcasts, we enjoy the conversation. So have any of you tried to? Because and this is a question for both of you, because you both got the Xbox Series X as well, right? So
I have the Series X.
Oh, you have the S?
No, just the 1X.
So you didn't buy the Series X?
Correct.
Okay, so this is Luca. Luca, guess what?
What's up?
You're special.
Yes.
Only you can answer this question on the podcast. and maybe depending you're doing it. So have you attempted to look at, you know, both platforms? Like you turn on your Series X and you look at the graphics, and then you turn on your PlayStation, you look at the graphics, and you be like, is there really a difference between the two? Or are they both nominally good? Like, have you tried to make an assessment? Because I know you and I, you know, we've been beat up with this power narrative month after month. Like,
it's very boring.
I think I got a tumor in my head over this, and I'm gonna claim it as a VA claim. I'm gonna say it's military service, right? So have you, like, for yourself, just looked at it, be like, is there really a difference between the two? Have you attempted that just on your own, since you have both?
Oh, I don't have any interest in that.
So not even, you don't give a damn. Like, nah, you're just gonna play it and that's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't even have any games on the PlayStation. I mean, other than Destiny that I could compare it to, but I don't really care enough to do that. So
you're not even slightly interested, just even a little bit curious?
Well, why would I be interested if I have both systems? It doesn't.
No, just because, like, let's say like a podcast. Let's say if somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, this game is definitely, you know, Xbox definitely," and you could be like, I got both." Like, you could, because you can now talk. Because I will say this: one of the biggest things, and I think you could agree, is everybody's talking trash because they're making statements that couldn't be disproven. You know what I mean? Because since the game's rolling out, the console's rolling out, everybody could just make ridiculous claims, and you can't disprove them. Because you can't say, "Oh, that's bullshit," because I have this, or the game is out. You know, so for months, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, month after month after month, people making claims that cannot be disproven, so they get away with it. But now that you, in particular, you got both consoles, you can speak from experience. And if anybody tries to come bullshit on you or talk something on your podcast, you can be like, mister, I got both. And from my experience seeing this, blah, 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 blah. Are you not interested in being able to have that leverage over people who probably don't even have any console yet, and they're still making claims on what these consoles can do?
I've really just been playing my games the last couple of days. I haven't really thought about like trying to get one up on someone just because.
But now you do, right? Now you're thinking, you know what, Puerto Rock? That's a good idea. She's thinking it now.
I think both consoles are great. I really love the speed aspect, especially with Destiny 2. I had a regular SSD for my game because I like to load, you know, when I would load into a Crucible, I would like to switch out my loadout in the middle of matches and stuff, so I could do it like in the middle of me being dead or whatever. I'm like, okay, let me switch guns or let me switch exotics or whatever, right? So that's what I did it for. But the loading I've noticed for Destiny 2 is very fast in comparison to how it was on the One X.
Okay.
And then I'm really loving the loading speeds for Demon Souls. Like, it makes farming a lot easier, but I haven't loaded up any game in between my systems to like check which one looks better. I'm going to keep it real with you, dude. I don't really have a good eye for graphics like that in regards to being able to tell the difference.
Well, do what everybody else does and lie.
Yeah,
it seems to work.
No, I'd rather not.
It seems to work.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but the tech stuff has never been something I'm interested in. So,
shout out to Game Forte. He said, "Sub P Rock Code and the worsted Xbox head ever, Craig." Luca, I would be disappointed, but I'm only playing to be raid ready. Plus, Astro Bot was sick.
Listen, you said you would be home in 30 minutes. It's been 6 hours, so like, what's good? Like, we were supposed to play together, but whatever. I'm out anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, no, but like I said, I get what you're saying, but the power narrative and the going back and forth, I don't really see the point in doing that. I'm never gonna go back and forth with someone over some graphics. I can talk about frame rate. Frame rate's been pretty great, but I've just been playing my games and enjoying it. I haven't been going back and forth with people. Like, I even made a post today.
Yeah, you did. I saw that.
Then I muted it, and then I muted my post. So I walked away from it. I came back to a bunch of replies. I'm like, oh, and then I was like, well, I'm not reading through that. I don't really care. Back to playing my game. So I think that's the most important thing for me. Like,
Luca, hold on a minute, because I don't think you're allowed to just play your games without arguing about technology.
Yeah, no, I'm very
Luca,
candid with
be careful.
people.
You gotta pick a side.
I tell them
gotta pick a side.
I tell people I don't care. I'm like, listen, I don't really care, man. So,
Luca,
if you're flat out with it, they don't expect. Listen, people don't expect you to tell them that you don't care about something. So,
Luca, you don't want to be homeless like me. I can't come home. Right?
You can't come home, man.
We can't come home. Optimus, do you plan to get a Series X?
I do, absolutely, okay. I do.
So and of course you have a developer background. Do you plan to like do little things like that? For your own eyes, see the capabilities between the two.
Absolutely. I mean, on my PS4 Pro, my Xbox One X, I bought many copies of multiplats on each just so that I could look for myself and see what was what. I did that all the time, and eventually it reached a point where, like, I stopped doing it because there was not a significant difference. But then when Red Dead 2 came out, I did it again for that one specifically, and I did notice like a clear difference, like 100%. So in some cases, the Xbox One X really did shine, but for the most part, they was about the same. And it's exactly what they say on Digital Foundry. Like, you have to zoom in 8,000%. And then, like, you will notice a button on a shirt 3 miles away. Like, there is no real practical difference at all.
And real quick, the only time I've ever noticed a difference myself is with a game I've played on multiple platforms. So I played Dark Souls 3 on the Xbox One and then the PlayStation 4, right? So when I played it on the Xbox, I noticed some like screen tearing and some drops in frames in comparison to my PlayStation 4 version. But I'm talking like OG, and that's the only time I've ever noticed a difference by actually checking it. But I didn't go into it checking. I just wanted to play it again. So
Optimus, maybe someone I was talking to another developer in a DM, and he was teaching me some things, and I want to go through you on this one, right? Because obviously, some developers, people make claims at developers, and I take it with a grain of salt, right? But what he was trying to teach me was that there is not so much diminishing returns, but when you get up to these levels of 10 T-flops, 15 T-flops, whatever, right? When you want to, when somebody talks about significant difference in performance between two products, there has to be a bigger margin of T-flops as compared to the early generation. Like, for example, Xbox, and I'm glad Luca brought up Xbox One. So, like, PS4 and Xbox One, the difference was minimal, but you did see a significant impact. Like, you saw, PS4 games was running at 1080p, while the Xbox was only able to do 900p or 720p, and it was like 1.82 versus 1.3, right? So, very small window. But when you start talking where we're at now, and the levels of T-flops, the gap has to be bigger to actually see a significant difference. So what he was trying to say was a 2 or 3 T-flop difference is not enough now. Like, if you really want to see a significance between two consoles, you're going to need more like a 6 or 7 T-flop gap. Because the power, I guess what he's trying to say is, and he used this example, if you're driving down a highway and you got one car driving 80 miles an hour and another one driving 40 miles an hour, you can tell the difference between a car driving 40 and 80. But now, if you're on a plane and one plane's moving 800 miles an hour and the other one's driving 600, you think you'll be able to tell the difference? Because now you're hitting such high speeds, you have to now exponentially. Does that make sense? Can you break it down? You see what I'm saying? That's how I try to explain it. Does that make sense? Could you elaborate on what he's talking about? Maybe come up with a better, easier example? Because I kind of think when he mentioned the plane, I kind of understood. You could tell 80 miles an hour and 40 miles an hour, but would you be able to tell 800 miles an hour and 600 miles an hour?
See, I mean, I think that was a good example. And the point he's trying to make is, like, you don't even need to be a tech person to understand it. Like, again, it's just regular common sense. The closer things are together, the less likely it is that you can tell them apart. The more of a differentiation between them there is, the easier it is to tell them apart. And like on PC, like when people go from a 2080 to a 2080 Ti, they just think because you added the Ti on there and it has more flops, that's why the card is has better performance. But that's not true. When they put the TI, they also add more memory. They do quite a few other things in addition to the power output of the card. Yeah. So because they realize there is no one thing that you can do that's going to make this great exaggerated difference. Mm-hmm. And a really easy way to explain it, in my mind anyway, at least it's easy, it's the same as comparing a Genesis game, not a Genesis, I'm sorry, a Master System to an NES games. They're going to be pretty much the same because they are close already. Yeah. And even though, now if you go to the Genesis to the Super Nintendo, okay, the Genesis was more quote unquote powerful than the Super Nintendo. And so you would have like the games would be faster, you'd have better frame rates and stuff with the Genesis, but they were pretty much the same between the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Yeah. So if you compare the Genesis to the Super Nintendo, you're not going to see much difference. But if you compare the Genesis to a PlayStation, which is way ahead of it, now you will start to see a difference. And it's because the further you get the closer you get towards infinity, the more apart they have to be in order for you to notice any substantial difference. Otherwise, it's going to take special equipment to be able to see the difference, because the human eye needs drastic differences in order to be noticed. Mm-hmm. And the more detailed you get, the greater that exaggeration has to be for you to notice it as a human being.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Another question, since you both have the PS5. So you both downloaded games, right? Because most of the games I bought were all physical. But have you noticed on the PS5, everything's like downloading is faster? Or am I bugging out compared to the PS4? Because I'm on the same network, right? All I literally did was just ran an Ethernet cable to my router, plugged it in, and then I did a test. And like the PS5 is like, running at a higher download speed. Like just like it's like in the 200s. And I'm thinking, damn, and then I turn on the PS4, that shit's still at 60. And I'm like, what the hell? Did you guys notice that for your console?
I have bad internet, so I would not have noticed, but I have heard from several people that they're able to utilize their good internet. Like Hustle has really good internet. He has really good up and down, so he's been able to download his games really quickly. So that's something I've heard from other people, but I have bad internet, so it's not something I would notice.
How about you, Optimus?
I think that's true, Rob, because I've noticed before, like I got gigabit internet, and when I first set it up, the very first thing I did was go to open up the browser and do speed test on my PlayStation and on my Xbox. And I noticed that no matter how much better my service was, those rates were capped. But when I would run the exact same speed test from my laptop or something that's on the same network using the same internet, I would get better results. And it's because, I don't know if this is true, but I surmised that it was true. There were caps on the speeds in the 1X and the PlayStation. And now it seems like either those caps are higher or it's uncapped, and they're just allowing you to take advantage of your full bandwidth, whereas before they didn't. Yeah. I would load stuff up and it would be, like you said, around 60, 70, and then I would, same thing on Xbox, same thing. It was a little bit higher on the Xbox, so then I would run them both at the same time, and like the results were identical. Even when they were both running at the same time, it did not slow one down or speed up the other one. So I had plenty of bandwidth left over. They just weren't utilizing it on those machines.
Yeah, because I thought I was just bugging out. Because, when I first set up the internet on a PS5 and I did the download test, it said like 200. And then I redid it, like 190, 210. And I'm like, oh, snap. And in my head, I'm thinking, damn, maybe my router or something just got configured right. So I turned on the PS4. Nah, that shit's still saying 40, 50. I'm like, this piece of shit. I'm like, man, if you don't get your ass out my house with this bullshit. I was mad. I was like, man. Okay, so
don't be hating on the PS4 though.
I still kept it. That's still gonna be my traveling buddy because this goddamn PS5 is too big. It's Luca. Oh my god, this thing is like, Luca, I know you're a short girl. So is this thing like half your height?
It is very big.
It's huge.
But like, it's not heavy though.
No, it's not. It's just like awkwardly big. Like, God, even my wife was like, "Holy shit, that's big."
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah. What about the console, babe?
Yeah, it's really big, but it's big, but it's light. And then the Xbox is opposite. Xbox was really heavy for me.
Really?
So, yeah,
Really?
Well, when you think of
really
it, they
heavy.
stacked a lot of stuff in that. They really packed that in. So how does it sound like? So both consoles. I don't have the Xbox Series X, but the PS5 is really quiet. Like
No, neither of them
And I'm
make
like,
any
hallelujah, hallelujah, because this PS4 sounded like a Boeing 747. Like, Jesus is loud. Like
neither of them have made any noise. They're both very quiet.
Nice.
Nice.
That's pretty good. That's awesome, man. That's really good. Now, have you had any? Let's talk about the next topic: PS5 issues. Right, that shit is rampant. Now, granted, I have a lot of Xbox trolls on my timeline, and they're making sure I see every single video of somebody having an issue. They're tagging me. If somebody posted a video, these dudes are gonna make sure I see it. I'm like, holy shit, these dudes.
Well, now, I can't speak on this because I was an early adopter years ago to a laser disc, and this is the price you pay for being an early adopter.
Luca's thinking like, what the fuck's a laser disc?
Yeah, well, laser disc predated the Blu-ray player.
That shit predated a lot of stuff.
Well, it looked like a music disc, except it was a movie disc, and it had superior sound. It had what Blu-ray is now, but again, they went away. They didn't make enough of them. They didn't sell enough of them. There was no market, and I'm still stuck with mine. It still works. I can put my 5 movies in, and the movies cost like $50.
You still got that thing?
Yeah, I got Blue Thunder, Jaws.
That thing came out like in 1989.
I got mine in 92, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, but again, they're suffering for being early adapters. It's like when people bought the first iPhone, and everybody was excited, and they got their bill, and then everybody was screaming, "Oh, it's terrible!" because they had to adopt.
I don't agree with that. I don't think that. I mean, I do agree that as an early adopter, there are things that you will run into that will be fixed in later iterations, but it don't have to be that rampant. It don't have to be that spread.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Luca. Luca, so have you had any issues with either console, anything?
I had more issues with my games than the actual console.
Oh, so like what? Which games? The Demon Souls?
For Demon Souls and Valhalla. For Demon Souls, my games crashed 4 times so far.
Oh, it wasn't in the middle of a boss fight, was it?
No, it was actually when I was traveling back to the Nexus. So the Nexus is like the hub world. It's where you can rest and buy stuff. So it's happened every single time I've traveled back to the Nexus. Not every single time, but every single time it happened, I was traveling back to the Nexus. So it's not in the middle of anything important. And then for Valhalla, it's been I was standing on a stump, and then my character got frozen. And then I got this other bug. It's a big one, in which it said that my save files were corrupted. Like, all of them were, right? Oh. And I was just like, They were like, would you like to delete and start over? I was like, absolutely fucking not. So I logged off my system, and I reloaded it, and everything was fine. So I don't know what's going on with that. And then I've also had like a bug in which I was talking to someone and it wouldn't like start the dialogue sequence. Yeah. So those have been my bugs with my games. I let my followers know just in case they were playing and stuff. So
I would say this.
That's just in Valhalla itself though, because there was I think it was a Reddit page. I don't remember where, but it was just a list of bugs with Valhalla. It probably didn't have nothing to do with your Xbox at all, probably.
Yeah. So I've just had issues with games, not with my systems, thankfully. Because, if I had some issues with either of them, I would be throwing a fit. So, you know this.
I'll be like, yep, time to get off Twitter. Because Luca's raging up in here. I'm going to just log off. But I will say this. So, as if and thankfully it's not hardware for you and for anybody. But I will say this. Any issues with software, I'm gonna say this. I don't think that's a launch thing. I think that's just something we're going to be dealing with for the rest of the gen. These companies have no issues releasing buggy games because they could patch it in later. I mean, take for example Days Gone, right? It was released in 2019, and there was a lot of buggy issues, and they were releasing patches like almost every 2-3 days, and you're talking about a console that was already out for 6 years. So hell, they got games where you have to download a day one patch.
They do. Avengers was like that.
You see what I'm saying? So like maybe what you're going through with Demon Souls and Valhalla, that ain't going away anytime soon. I don't think that's ever going to go away. We're going to be dealing with buggy games just for the rest of the gen. It's just going to happen, and But I'm glad to hear nothing hardware wise.
I definitely get that, and I've accepted it. I just I've had people really hate when I mention bugs in games that they like, and I'm like, listen, you're just gonna have to continue hating it because I'm mentioning it all the time, man.
And, it's not their fault. Like, why are they mad? Like, you didn't make the game. Like, they take it personal as if they made it. Like, did you develop the game? No, then shut up. The hell are you taking this personal for? Optimus, have you had any issues with your PS5 of any type?
I did.
Oh,
man,
did
right
you
in
really?
the middle of the podcast last night. Yeah, I got the rebuilding the database bug.
So what was that about? How did that work out? Like was it automatic? Did you have to download something?
I don't know. I just sat there and waited and let it do its thing. I turned it on and it was like error. Send a report to Sony. Like absolutely send a report to Sony. Because I want them to know that this happened and I want them to fucking fix it.
Yes.
Definitely send a report to Sony.
Yes.
And then they said they had to rebuild the database. And so they rebuilt it.
Okay.
And then I waited and it said it's going to restart itself. So I was just sitting there waiting. And they was calling me. They was like, Optimus, you there? Like, man, what is going on with this PlayStation? I wasn't saying, I had muted myself. And I was waiting for it to come back on, and it didn't after like 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, shit.
And I was getting frustrated. Yeah. But all it was, I had to go just turn it on myself. I just had to hit the power button. It's been straight since then.
Did it delete anything? No files got deleted? Your games downloaded was still there?
Everything was the same as it was. It just rebuilt the database, whatever that means.
Oh, that's a scary moment. I would have been nervous.
Yeah.
I would have been like, man, if this thing breaks after me freezing my ass off for 8 hours, I'm going to take a trip to Tokyo. I'll be like, I'm going to take that trip. I'm going to buy a plane to Tokyo. Me and Yoshida's going to have a conversation. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So, like,
I don't really like is that people are, like, making fun of those whose systems are having issues.
That I don't like.
It's really not funny, to be honest.
That is sad. That's actually sad because as much as I, trash Xbox, it's the box itself or like, the games, right? I don't actually make fun of people or at least I try not to. But like, let's say if an Xbox dude, even if it's a dude I can't stand and he makes a tweet saying, damn, my Xbox broke, I'm not going to laugh at him because that's not funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me,
you pay money. Like the dude, you pay money for this.
Yeah, it's a karma thing for me. I just don't want that bad energy coming back to me, man.
Yeah, and even that is just like, when you're just grown and another person, like these consoles, especially now, they're not easy to come by, right? So if you're lucky enough to get one, if you have kids, they're probably enjoying it. And when it breaks, it's a lot of people that are, upset that, something like this ain't working. So it's just not cool, just because, like I think Salty Gaming went through something, right? And his console didn't even break. It just went through an issue and he fixed it and he's back to playing. But his tweet was retweeted like wildfire and everybody's like, haha, karma, sucks to be you. And I'm thinking, like, really? Like,
I saw that. That's actually ridiculous. What I'm referring to myself.
But I'm thinking, these dudes don't notice, like just because Salty talk shit about plastic, you guys, like, it's just weird. Like, I don't know, it's just weird when I see that. Like,
I would never wish that on anybody. That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm like, that's just weird stuff.
I heard people waited outside for 15 to 18 hours to get one, and
shout out to them. That could never be me, but shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, and I agree. And yeah, so, people do things for the hell of it, but I feel bad for those people. That it's like years ago. Well, last year when In-Game came out, I think that theater in California, their projector broke down. Oh, and like they were an hour into the movie, and they were. Oh, happened to you? Okay, yeah. So
that happened.
terrible.
Yeah, it was. Oh, dude, I was. I was like the biggest movie of the year, and like the projector actually went down. I was like, "Yo, you're fucking joking, right?"
Oh my god!
They were handing out like
what movie was this?
It was Endgame.
Endgame! Oh
yeah,
man!
And I was like, I always go like opening weekend because I don't want to be spoiled, bro. I was like scouring the net, like I need to find fucking seats. I got to find tickets for this shit. I'm not missing it.
Oh
so,
wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, I was pretty upset.
I would be like, you better get that camera up, or I'm gonna Thanos this bitch. That's insane. But yeah, it's just weird. And it just shows like there's people like me, Zaire. Like we just have fun and entertainment, right? And that's all it really is for me. It's just shit talking, trash talking, right? But when shit gets ridiculous, you obviously gotta just step back and be like, all right, this is getting out of hand. It's no longer the jokes and whatever. And I think what they did to Salty, like that just shows who they truly are. Like, wow, you guys are really in your feels when somebody.
What happened to Salty?
So I guess his PS5 just messed up. I mean, it's not bricked or anything. He just went into an issue, maybe restarted, whatever he went through was temporary, and he just tweeted about it, right? And his tweet got retweeted. It's very
unfortunate, but it's the hazard of the community that we're in. It's not a clearly it's not a gaming community because I see not a one person posting anything, but whatever. Anyway, it's a drama community, so people just like to talk shit. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, like little by little, I'm posting stuff.
Don't have one. Yeah, but honestly, if they're at a point where they're not talking about the games and they're talking about systems going out, that means their entire narrative that Porter Rock you mentioned earlier is straight up dog shit. Yeah. If you're talking about consoles breaking, because that's not good on nobody. I know people who, like I said, waited 15 hours to get their One X, and now it's not working correctly. That's not fun.
On the context, though, Craig, because I've seen people having issues, so I started a thread on my Twitter for people to share problems that they have and what they did to fix it, what did Sony do or whatever. But the point of that is to have a place where people can look, and if they run into an issue, they can see who else had it. Yeah. And then somebody else was like, well, this thread is a good idea. You should do the same thing for Xbox Series X. And so I responded, I was like, well, I don't think that'll go over well because the Xbox community is mad at me right now. And if I post anything about Series X errors, it'll be perceived as me throwing shade at the system or something.
Well, why are they mad at you?
That's really not a good topic for tonight. I don't think.
All right, I'm just asking, because I don't know why they would be mad at you. All you did was tell the truth.
So Luca has a point because I posted maybe a couple of video snapshots. I posted a couple of video snapshots of the PS5. Oh, look at this! Oh man, this is fast. And then I'm looking for videos because it's not like there's a very good instruction book on this, right? So like the little secrets and details, like for example, I learned about the activities card that if you click on it, you actually boot right into the game, bypassing the menu screen, and you could pretty much do that to any game, right? I learned that from somebody else's video on Twitter. Like somebody says, hey, check this out, make sure your activities card, and I'm looking at the Twitter video, and he's like going in and out of games just by clicking on activity card. Like cold booting, not even preloaded, not resume function. Like literally, he'll highlight a card, click on it, boom, it goes into that game. And then he backed out back to the home screen, picked another game, clicked on the activity card, boom, it goes into that game just instantly. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. Like, there's no instruction for that. So I'm looking for videos like that, but like Lucas says, more people are posting bullshit. And I'm like, fuck. Like, can y'all like post more shit about what you experienced on your PS5? Because it might be new to me. Like something that's common to you with the PS5 might be new to me because I'm not doing it, right? Like that dude with activities card.
But understand that people who don't have them, they're not looking at that. Like if you were to post something about Demon Souls, even though I've seen the pictures, I mean they look fantastic, but it's just like I look at a glance. Because you have to understand, the majority of people don't have them.
Yeah, but even
they're not going to look at your picture.
But here's it: even if you don't have it, right? Even if you don't have, let's say like Luca posts pictures of Demon Souls, right? She has the game. She's a real person. She has a real Twitter account, and she's showing the game for real now. So it's no longer it's no assumption. So even if you don't have the PS5,
chances are you're interested in it. Because if you're not interested in the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, then why are you in the conversation about any of these consoles at all then? Like, why are you in the conversation of, oh, the PS5 is broken or the Xbox Series X is broken if you're not interested in it? Then don't get in the conversation at all then. Just mind your business and keep playing whatever console you have, right? But if you are interested, you can now see real content from a real person actually playing the game. It's no longer an assumption.
And that's different than what. Then I misunderstood what you said there, because I'm looking at it like, I'm seeing people in my timeline. They have pictures of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah. They have them. I see it in glancing, but I don't want to look at the trophy that they got. I don't want to look at where they are in the city, because I may want to go there and not even know. I don't want to know it.
Okay. So, that's fine. I can get that.
Yeah, but that's the way. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I understand what you're saying too. I got what you're saying.
But I think what Luke is referring to, and I see it too, is you got people with new consoles and they're spending more time talking about, you know, the other console, or posting every single video of negative about the other console.
That's true.
Vice pushing what you have. Like, because you gotta understand, we're pretty lucky having these consoles. So whatever you figured out, whatever you did, upload a video and show it. Because that will help somebody else be like, oh, snap, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, that looks cool.
Right.
That looks great.
Look, and Microsoft and Sony, they could, because of everything going on the planet, they could have held these consoles to like next March. They both could have done that.
Man, you better shut your mouth.
There's still no issues, even if they had.
It's just 90 days. You know? Yeah, it's just 100 days.
What do you mean, just 100 days? I could die tomorrow.
Okay, true enough.
So true. Yeah, my thing is,
I could be in a car accident tomorrow. You kidding me?
I want to talk about how I got my PlayStation 5. So I wasn't able to pre-order initially. Bro, I was sick.
So who you robbed?
I was sick.
Who you robbed?
And I didn't rob anyone, but
come on, you put on that ski mask.
I was definitely getting to that triggering point anytime I would see someone talk about the PlayStation 5, especially the people who have multiple systems. I was like, if I don't get this PlayStation 5 Thursday,
I'm robbing somebody.
It's going to be a bad time, right? Anyway, so I was on the phone with all day Thursday night, and me and him were arguing. And because I was arguing with him all night, I was able to get my system from the PlayStation Store, because I was like doing that on the side. So shout out to all day.
So you were arguing all day because he kept you up all night. You were able to.
He was all day and all night. Yeah. Well, I saw Luca when you put that up. I saw when Luca put that up there. I'm like, how did she just get one? These people were waiting.
Yeah, like there's people who've been trying for weeks.
I got that shit at like 1:30 in the morning.
She lied. She robbed somebody. I bet you right. Yeah, listen, if you look at Luca's Amazon order history, you probably see ski mask, baklava. You know what I'm saying? And a 9 milli for only $150.
I sent that picture. Somebody had that on Amazon. They took a screenshot. It said you get a PS5 for $9. They had a pellet gun, a ski mask, and gloves.
That's what Luca out there. Run your shit.
Yeah. I sent that to Kenna, the people who do Ember Labs. They actually liked it. They were like, yeah, we haven't gotten ours either. It said something.
Hey, hold up real quick. I want to ask you about Demon Souls again. I meant to ask you this while we was on it. My bad. Does the quick loading help with the deaths? Because when I played Dark Souls, when I would die, the time it took for me to load, I'd be sitting there anxious, ready to go back and get my shit and collect all my shit before I died again and lost it all. So the loading would always be annoying. Has that disappeared, or how was that?
The load times are just insanely phenomenal, dude. Like, I just, words cannot express, because grinding for souls and for items is a big thing in this game, you know what I mean? So it's just it's just seconds, and it's just so beautiful. I love it so much. Like, I did a stream yesterday, and I died a lot, dude. I died a lot, but it was fine, because I was like, you know what, I'm hanging out with my people, and it loads in seconds, so it's not much of a problem. So I'm telling you, the speeds on these systems is just, that's probably, other than the 60 frames, that's definitely my favorite thing.
I heard that's real good for most systems, the loading.
Yeah, the loading has been great. It's the same for Assassin's Creed. I load them really quick for that one too.
I would say, so let me tell you my story, how I got a PS5, all right? So I talked about it in the unboxing, but so I try to get a PS5, one for myself and one for my nephew, my wife's nephew, right? So we went to the PX. I always said I was going to get it at PX because we get tax-free, whatever. So we got there at midnight. and it's like mad cold. And I'm gonna be honest, I forgot this. I forgot what it was to be like a junior Marine, like a PFC or Lance Corporal. You know, I forgot because them dudes were already out there in their sleeping bags. I was like, oh shit, when I showed up. Like literally, they had their military stuff that you would go to the field, sleeping bags, poncho liners. They were out there already, laid out in front of the PX. I'm like, oh my god, I don't think I'm gonna get one. But anyway, fast forward from midnight all the way to 8 in the morning. It was just me and my wife. The store opens up. Everybody, you know, they line us up. We walk through. They only had 70 consoles. And we missed it by maybe like 9 people, right? Yeah, so that's it. Sold out, and I'm like, shit. My wife is pissed off. Because one, she hates the cold, right? But she was only out there because of her nephew. But oh man, my wife's from Brooklyn, right? Oh my god, I haven't seen this side of her like I've been with her since forever, right? And I haven't seen this side of her in decades. She's like, yo, I'm about to rob somebody. She's looking around like she's just mad, looking at the people. Like you can see hate in her eyes at all the people walking around with the consoles. Like she's looking at him like, yo, I could rob that dude right now. I'm like, babe, like relax. Like you're going too much. And then she's walking out the store and she's like, what kind of stupid broke ass store will only get 70 PlayStations? This is bullshit. I'm like, yo, like I gotta get out of here. Like, come on, babe. It is what it is, right? So I get a phone call, right? Or really a text message from one of my buddies, right? We were together in 6th Marine Regiment back in like 2014, right? He's a lieutenant now, right? And you know, he was a sergeant at the time. And at the time, he wasn't sure he wanted to stay in the Marine Corps. He just had a kid, newly married. He was nervous about, balancing wife, family, being a Marine. And I just sat down and talked to him to, open up his aperture on the Marine Corps being a career, and then we just had a long talk. And he ultimately stayed. He finished college and he became a lieutenant, right? So he's having a great career, right? So he hits me up on a text. He's like, yo, I see you on Facebook and Instagram. You were trying to get your PlayStation. I'm like, yeah. He goes, did you get one? I'm like, nah, bro. That shit got sold out. He's like, I got you. I got yours right here waiting for you. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
I'm like, what you talking about? And he told me that there was another place on base, but one of the mini shops, right? The mini PXs, right? They also had PlayStations, but nobody thought to look there. Because everybody went to the main, department store that's on base, right? Like the big one, right? Kind of like the Walmart version on base, right? But they never looked at like what we would consider like the mom and pop version of the stores, right? And they had 5 PlayStations and nobody was there. He walked in, bought 2, walked out. Right?
Wow.
And he bought 2 because he had a feeling, because, I'm on Instagram live, talking to my family and friends and all that, telling them that I'm waiting online. He bought 2 just in case I didn't get one. And I didn't even ask him. I didn't even know he was doing it. So he hit me up. He asked if I got it. And worst case scenario, if I did get one, he would have just returned it, right? Or maybe he would have sold it, whatever. But he hit me up, and I'm like, nah, I didn't get one. He's like, yo, I got one right here. Come pick it up. And I'm like, you bullshit. And he showed it to me. No, it's right here. I was like, yo, I'll be right there right now. So I drove up to his house. He lives in a nice house, whatever. And he's like, here you go, and I gave him the $500, and then we just talked, and then he just came and thanked me. He's like, yo, man, I'm a lieutenant now, whatever, and it's all because of you, right? And I'm like, no doubt, man. I'm just
That's
glad.
what's up, man.
Yeah, so
This goes to show when you help people out of like just genuine kindness, sometimes it's paid forward,
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw this dude was 2014. Because he
6
left,
years?
6 years ago. And of course we would talk on, Facebook, once in a while and stuff like that. But for the most part, face to face, I haven't seen him in 6 years because I went to, I went to Germany and all that stuff, and then he did his thing, and then he went to, Officer Kennedy School. So we just had a busy life. But just out of the blue, he just said, I got your console. And he knew I love PlayStation because we used to talk about it back in those days too, right? Because he was big on PlayStation also. So everybody that knows me personally, they know I love video games, whatever. And he just bought it.
Love.
He bought it just to make sure that I got one. And I was like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So this PlayStation 5 is a little bit more sentimental for me simply because this was something somebody else did out of their own kindness or whatever. Rather than just me getting it. That's crazy, man.
That's love.
That's a good story, yeah.
And he didn't even know if you would have the money to pay him back.
He didn't care. He didn't care if I had the money or not. He just did it, and he was just ready to whatever. I'm like, yo, here's the 500. At first, he was like, nah. I'm like, no. Now, I'm gonna give you the 500. And I truly appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I was like, yeah. And then we just, we talked for a little bit. We caught up on some things. He's having a great, time. He's just having a great career. Like his career really skyrocketed, and I was really proud and happy for him and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great story, Doc.
And you got to remember, and Luke was right, and for every 20 idiots that are out there's people like that, and that's why you're podcasting.
No, I think it's one in every 200, Craig.
That's fine. All right, that's fine. I was trying to be nice, but that's fine. One out of every 200. Seriously, a sub of mine, he may be able to send me one after Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, because he's getting another one from Amazon. Yeah. That's the way I would get mine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Why can't life be a Hallmark channel? My wife said that last night. So we were watching a Hallmark channel because she loves Christmas movies. And I'm like, oh my God, man, this girl's going to make me sick. Like, it just gets Christmas movie after Christmas movie after Christmas movie. And I just watch it with her because she just loves that, right? And she just sat there and be like, damn, babe, why can't life just be a Hallmark channel? I'm like, I looked at her like, Jesus Christ. I'll be like, well, one, I probably wouldn't be having this job because I don't think the Marine Corps does well on the Hallmark channel. I don't think Marines will have a job. So I probably wouldn't be doing this.
They always show the same movie, though. The woman always moves back to town, and she's a baby mama, and then she falls back in love with her high school sweetheart who's running for mayor or city council or something like that. I mean, it's just kind of, I look at her, when we watch it, when she watches it, I was like, it's the same story, girl. What are you doing? I mean,
they just love it, though. It's just
they do love it, though. Yeah.
All right, so I pretty much went through topic. Is there anything any of you want to cover?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right, go ahead, Greg.
Because people sent questions.
Oh yeah, the Q&A, of course.
Yeah.
I do got something I want to say before we jump off into that.
All right.
It won't take but a second.
You probably got to get my paper.
So here's the thing, y'all. So when somebody claims to be a tech expert, so right off the top, you need to understand that if a person is a legit tech expert, they are not making that claim in order for you to worship them or think that they so great or think that they so fucking smart and that they just like want a bunch of clout. A tech expert, when they make that claim, the reason they are doing that is because they have spent a lot of their lives getting up to speed with technology and mastering certain things. And what they want to do is share that knowledge and wisdom with the community. And the reason they want to do that is so that the community itself can be more educated and so that the community can be more informed. There is no glory. There is no reason to do this for clout because you already gonna have a ton of clout in the circles that you run in. You don't need clout from Twitter or any of this other shit because it doesn't really do anything. And again, this is if you are a real tech expert. It's like saying like a teacher, someone claims that they're a teacher, they're going to try to teach kids and help kids for the love of teaching and because they want those kids to grow. It's not because they want somebody to look at them as like super valuable members of society. They just have a passion for helping people learn and grow. And it's very similar with someone that comes to the community and they try to help educate you on technology. Their goal is education, not the advancement of themselves. And the higher up in tech that they are, the less they even need your validation or approval because they've been doing this shit for decades without you. They don't need you or your support. They're trying to give of themselves to you. So that's the first thing. So right away, when you see all these claims from people claiming to be tech experts, if they're doing this to increase their own standing, that's the first red flag that you probably need to be careful of what they're trying to tell you.
Okay.
Second thing is, if someone is a legit tech expert, they're going to try to tell you things that are accurate and true, even if it's not what you want to hear. And when this happens, for you to go out and try to find another expert to replace them with that does say what you want to hear, and then you push that instead, you're not helping yourself and you're not helping the community. Because especially with software engineering and hardware engineering, all of this is a receipt-based business. So at the end of the day, every claim can be either verified or exposed. And when you make a bunch of false fucking claims, there will come a time where you're going to have to pay the piper. And it's at this point where all these claims are going to be exposed, and then everybody, like what happened in my case, now everybody want to just get along and let's just play the games and enjoy them wherever you want to enjoy them. I've been trying to tell you that for 5 fucking months, and you wanted to argue. All of this stuff is exactly the same. It is software, which is the dev tools, the compilers, the dev skill and talent, time and resources, period. That is what makes a better game. Higher flops, bunch of buzzword acronym shit. While that stuff is cool, if you don't understand what you're talking about and how it's going to affect the games, stop saying all of this dumb shit just because you trying to make a platform look good. And that goes for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Switch, it doesn't matter. If you want to give technical information to the community, give them accurate information. Do not give information that only makes one side looks good. And that's another red flag. If somebody's telling you they're a tech expert and everything they say makes one platform look good and the other one looks bad, then they're a fucking fraud. A real tech expert is just going to hurt some people's feelings because the truth is what the truth is. And they're not going to change what's true to fit a crowd. They're going to tell you what's true. And then you can ask them, okay, well, how do we overcome this? Well, what are our next steps then? And then they will help you figure out how to salvage whatever you can with this information. But they're not going to insist that Xbox is always good or PlayStation is always good. That's not how it works, because those aren't technical realities. And that's pretty much what I want to say on that. Be careful about who you listen to when they claim to be a tech expert. That's it.
I think that is happening right now.
I would say the biggest thing is, as I often say, this community is trash. Don't look for any information. Go outside of the community and find people who are not associated with this community to ask for verification. Because when it comes to a lot of stuff people say in the community, I'm like, let me just go ahead and go somewhere else.
Here's the litmus. Here's the litmus test, right? If there's a tech expert, ask them these questions. Do you know who Portorock, Dealer, Coat, Zaire, Next Gen, and Post Up are? If they answer yes, don't listen to them.
Yeah, no, I see a lot
if they know who I am, you don't want to talk to them. The real tech experts have no idea that we exist. They don't know any of us. Those are the guys you want to listen to. That's the list.
Wait, man, I got a cyberpunk here. They should know who I am.
You know, and I would say right now, it's probably going to be easier to listen to people because, again, we now have receipts. We now have the games. The games are out there. We see Digital Foundry. We see now analysis of head-to-head. So now it's easier to see if somebody's saying some dumb stuff. Like before, they were able to get away with it. Like I said before, the anonymity of making a statement and yet no one could disprove you because we don't actually have the content to disprove you. You could get away with it. So all these massive claims back in March, April, oh my God, the power staggering between the two. It's incredible. You just had to sit there and listen and just be like, you agree or disagree, but you couldn't really do nothing. But now that we have the games, we see the content, we can play the games ourselves, we can now, funnel out who's the shit talkers, who's the bullshitters, and who's actually being legit. Because you can actually see the stuff now.
Don't listen to anyone who refuses to post, okay, their gamer tag or their PlayStation Network. Okay, I'm just saying.
There you go. Go, we there. You know I'm the king of that shit. What's your PSN? What's your PSN? That's it. And people run. Be like, yo, I played that game. It sucks. Oh, yeah, you played it? Yeah. What's your PSN again? blocked. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought so. Like, get out of here with that stuff.
Yeah, one of my followers was all like, "Oh, Demon Souls is so easy, Luca." I'm like, "Oh, what's your PSN?" He disappeared. I was like, "What happened?"
It's just a simple question. Hell, we could play. Let me invade your world. Whatever. I'll show you
about it.
All right, so so what's up with the Q&A?
Yeah, there's several questions. These are real questions. I didn't make these up.
Okay.
These are for code. And
before you ask the questions, I gotta make a disclaimer.
Off with that disclaimer, you know he made.
I'm about to make the disclaimer.
No,
Hold on. Before I gotta make the disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen. The following are not representative of the 60 Freak Magno Productions, nor is an express view of Porter Rock 77, Ashton Luca, or Optimus Online. The following said by Craig is the sole responsibility of Craig, and all those who are listening, you bear the sole responsibility of listening. You cannot sue, hold accountable of this channel or any content therefore of. Copyright 1992. Go ahead.
Damn, that was pretty detailed. All right, first question comes from King David 706. Ask Optimus Code, where are the 52 CUs?
Oh my god, I knew it.
That's the first question I got.
All of that stuff is real, and like there ain't no need throwing shade at that. Microsoft
What is that?
I don't know. That's just somebody's asking me to ask him.
Yeah, you know what? Because Craig's been asking that question. Can you explain to him what a CU is?
Well, I already know what it is.
No, you don't. No. Because you keep asking that question every podcast. So we're gonna get the answer. What's a CU?
A CU is a compute unit, and it's a component of a GPU that basically it's kind of like a core in a computer, in a CPU. So 52 CUs is basically 52 cores, and the reason that's important is because like in a computer, a lot of time you spend times waiting. So you say, hey, this person just hit the block button, so I want you to block, and then the enemy is going to hit them with a hard attack. And we need to compute how much damage is done to the player if their shield is at 30% or whatever it is. So this calculation is going on. And so while you are waiting for that calculation to happen, it's called like a blocking thread. Everything else is blocked, waiting for the result of that calculation to finish. And then once that finishes, then the computer can go and do the next thing. But it doesn't like way fast, right? Like billions of operations in a second.
Yeah.
Well,
why is that a question though? Why are what are 52 CUs? Is that like a reference to something?
That's what Xbox has.
Xbox has 52 CUs, and people are trying to make a joke like, well, if it's got all of these CUs, where is it at? Ain't no games for it. All the games are looking the same, so on and so forth. So they throwing shade.
Okay.
Because the PlayStation 5 has 36 CUs. So
okay, I get it.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like, all right, so one has 52 CUs, one has 36 CUs. Most of us don't even know what the fuck that means. Like, is that like I could say you got $10 million and I got $10. Okay, I know what that means. That means you're a rich motherfucker and I'm broke. I get that. 52 CUs, 36 CUs, I don't understand those terms. It doesn't make sense to me.
I've got another question here for Code.
Right. So what's the next
This is about the Epic Unreal Engine demo that everybody saw on PS5. Right. This person, this is from at RealMore7.
You
wanted to know. All right, that's fine. I'm just trying to get context here. All right, they wanted to know.
It's probably made up anyway. So.
No, they wanted to know, could that demo that we saw running on the PS5 run on Series X, and if so, would it be any different? That's the question.
So I don't know, obviously, but an educated guess is yes, it can run on the Series X, but I would guess that it wouldn't run like that on the Series X.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, so both the Series X and the PlayStation, like Porter Rock said last week, or on one of these shows we did, Porter Rock used the example, like there's more than one way to get to a city, let's say like Chicago. Mm-hmm. There's more than one way to get to Chicago. And long story short, Sony and Microsoft took different roads, but they're getting ultimately at the same place. So the way that you would get that on the PlayStation might not be the same way that you would get it on the Xbox, but yes, it could still run it and get the same end result just by doing it a different way.
Now, I would like to answer that question not from a tech perspective, because I'm not going to pretend that I'm a tech guy, but from a business perspective. Unreal Engine is supposed to be made as a middleware multi-platform tool set.
Absolutely.
So just from a business sense, yeah, Unreal Engine 5 is going to work on Xbox Series X because that's what they want. It's not a PS5 exclusive engine. So they want it to work on Xbox. They want it to work on PC. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have some, if you could downscale it to Switch, maybe even phones, because remember they did Unreal Engine on phones too. And that's how they make their money. They make their money by making this tool sets accessible to multiple platforms. So maybe not the same way, but I think like Optimus said, ultimately it's something designed for everything, because that's what they do. They want every developer to license it. And if let's say if they were not smart enough to where this doesn't work on Xbox Series X, then how many developers that want multi-platform games will use it then? It wouldn't be useful to them then. If you can't get it to so that's
I got two more questions to ask. And one is for you.
Hold on, Greg. I just want to say, Rock, that's a good explanation that you made there, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
100% correct.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, this one is for Porter Rock, and this person says thank you for your service, things like that. Thank you for your service to the country. Ask Porter Rock,
things like that. Say the whole thing, Greg.
What I'm saying? It says, ask Porter Rock, does he think the rumor, and this is it, that's in all caps, does he think the rumor of Sony possibly buying Blue Point Studios has any merit or legs? Is that something that he would like to see? That's what it says.
I think it might be true. I think you've seen already a couple of projects that they already did for PlayStation. They have a great relationship. Like after Sony bought Insomniac, it wouldn't be surprise me if they add Blue Point Studios to their portfolio. Apparently, being an indie developer is not easy. Being on your own, as much as a lot of these developers would love to be an indie studio, a lot of these studios, you're just one bad game away from losing everything. You know what I'm saying? At least under a publisher, you have that. And Optimus could probably talk more about that.
That's true.
But some indie developers, you're literally just one bad game away from losing it all. And that's it. There goes your studios and all that. So I would imagine, if Sony buys Blue Point, I wouldn't be surprised. After them buying Insomniac, I wouldn't be surprised. And so far, Demon's Souls is a great remake.
Oh, hold on. I got an issue with. Let me talk to just real quick, okay?
Go ahead.
Just real quick. This fucking man-eater boss fight, dude, I was triggered, okay? Because they kept everything the same. I had, that glitch where he disappeared. I looked it up. That shit was from 10 years ago. I'm like, they couldn't have patched that out, really?
No, but it's the authenticity. It's the authenticity. Some things, you can't change. Some things be like, no. You know why? We're going to keep that glitch. Because that glitch needs to stay in there.
This is bullshit, man.
It's probably not even a glitch. They probably actually programmed that in there. Like, it will glitch out. Blue Point's like, not only is it not a glitch, we're going to make sure that happens.
Yeah, dude, I was pretty triggered. I was like, yo, you're fucking joking, right? Like, really?
What I'm interested in, if they go do the 6th Archstone. Because, they never opened it up. It's just rumors of that broken Archstone. I wonder if they're gonna do a DLC for that. I think that shit would be huge.
I think
they said they wanna keep to the authenticity. I mean, they could hit up Miyazaki-san and ask him. That's what.
I mean, maybe a DLC in a couple of months to be like, hey, the 6th Archstone. That would be huge. Everybody be like, what? I mean, that would be pretty huge. But anyway, so that's our question. I would like to see Blue Point. The real question is, if they did, buy out Blue Point, will they keep using them as a studio to bring back full remakes, or will they give them the opportunity to make a new IP on their own and see what they could do? Like, if they did a full remake, I would like it. Like, I'll be honest. Like, all right, I'm glad they did Demon's Souls, because Demon's Souls honestly did need a remake, right? Because like Lucas said, the frame rate was really hard. It was rough on PlayStation 3. Like, you really had to. It tested your patience at times. I ain't gonna lie, right? But if I were to see remakes from them, I think I would like to see games from PS2 or older generations. Not so much, not so much PS3, PS4. Like, give me a PS1 full-blown remake, because then you will actually see, like, a huge. I mean, you'll see a noticeable difference, but like, PlayStation 1 games had limitations. When you look at it, the things we could do now, you could do nowhere near that during the PS1 era. So let's say like a Siphon filter built from the ground up. Now,
yes, sir.
would be a totally different experience. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about.
On the Unreal 5 engine.
Or Legacy of Kain. Things like that. Games that just never had the opportunity. Someone mentioned Legend of Dragoon. I see that game so much. So many people want that game to come back. Is ridiculous, But there's a lot of games that, at the time they weren't limited because, at the time PS1 was, the best, it was up to technology. But when you look at it and how far we progressed with gameplay, controls, dual analog sticks, all that stuff, some of these games could really shine now if they built it from the ground up and used the tool sets of today. Like, again, Siphon Filter is like my #1 candidate. Or Metal Gear Solid. My God, if they remade that game now, it would be incredible and stuff. Legacy of Kain and stuff like that, right? And maybe some other titles that are even older, like Splatterhouse from like the NECS from the Genesis era. That was a great game. Now imagine that game now, So things like that.
They tried to ban that from the Super Nintendo.
I remember that, yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some games back then that if it would come out now, like a Rambo game. Like an actual true-to-life Rambo game now. There'd just be some great content. But anyway, so what's the next question, Craig?
Yeah, that's the last question.
Go ahead. I want to respond to that. Well, the question that Rock answered. So, because Rock actually hit on like two things. I don't even know if he realized he did it, but it's two things that he hit on that I think are important. First, when people have these conversations about studio acquisitions, they always make the assumption that these studios want to be bought in the first place.
True.
Yeah,
so
agree.
First step is you got to have a studio that's willing to sell, because a lot of studios do enjoy their independence.
Yes.
They like shopping their skills around to the highest bidder and then working on the project and then going on to the next one. And with Blue Point, like, they pimp hand is strong right now.
Yeah.
So they in high demand. So for them, they can pretty much get any job that they want. If they bid on a project, it's almost a guarantee that they're going to get it. So number one, you can't assume that they want to be sold. A lot of studios like their independence. However, if they are sold, let's say Sony does buy them, you can rest assured that that team is not going to stay the same size. At that point, they will be able to have multiple teams within Blue Point so that they can work on a new IP and remaster or remake something else. It's not mutually exclusive where it's one or the other. So like Rock said, getting with the major publisher gives you advantages, but then there are also disadvantages that come with that. Yeah. So that team has to, that studio head, and with a shop like that, the studio, whoever owns it, is not going to make the decision by him or herself. They're going to talk to the team because they're really going to operate like a family. Yeah. And then together they will decide like how they want to proceed.
No. Great.
No, that's good. This is the last question. I can actually answer this one too. What two games are you all looking forward to in 2021 on either PlayStation or Xbox? I'll go first. Mine is Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. Looking forward to playing that. This is after I secure the bag, and then of course the Mass Effect remaster in 7 days. Greatest 87.
Speak
up.
You two look
ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm about to eject both of y'all. I can't have two Mass Effect people now. Oh my God! I knew he was gonna say Mass Effect. I knew it.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on.
He said Kenna. I'm like, he's gonna say Mass Effect. Oh my God!
Come on, both great games, defining a legacy of games, and looking forward to Kenna as well. So the question goes to, I guess you all, what two games? And it would have been Halo. Okay. If Mass Effect didn't get announced, I would have said Kenna and Halo. Okay. So Halo was third for me.
So how about you, Luca? And Luca, please don't say another Destiny DLC pack.
No, Mass Effect. It's gonna have to be Mass Effect.
Like surpass Twilight or some weird. pack. Like no more. Like what you
No.
got two upcoming games?
It's Mass Effect.
Heck yeah, it's Mass Effect, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm gonna romance Miranda Lawson with those HD textures, dog. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, you got that right.
All right, so what's the second game? Luca?
Shit, that's 3 games right there.
Yeah, that's true.
3 games.
I can't think of anything for now. I'm gonna have to wait and see.
That's fair.
Well, weren't you big on Cyberpunk? Oh, this is 2021 though.
Well,
hell no, it's Cyberpunk. It might be a 2021 game. So that might be your 2021
That's
game.
true.
Yeah, that might be my 2021 game.
Yeah,
All right,
that's true too.
Optimus, how about you?
For me, this is easy. It's not even close. Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok.
And that's it. We can end the show because that's my 2 right
Not
there.
even close.
Yeah, well, I can't argue with those either. Those are all great games right there. So, yeah, that Horizon looked amazing. You know what we saw. We haven't seen gameplay. Let me caveat that we have not seen gameplay. But from what I saw, that trailer that they showed looked phenomenal.
Okay, so yeah, and I mean, there's a mention like Kenna that looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm actually also looking forward to Ratchet and Clank just to see how that, because I think that, it's still Ratchet and Clank, right?
This year.
Huh?
I thought that was in December. I don't know.
Is it December? Oh,
I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I thought it was.
oh man,
I think
that
I'm
would be
a
great.
I'm a gift Porter Rock Mass Effect. He can stream it.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
At least you don't have to drive. There's no drive. Well, you got to drive a little car around the planet.
Hey, y'all, there's one more thing I need to clear up with this. Somebody just hit my DMs.
Jesus. Jesus
So,
Christ.
one more thing with this whole little tool and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like I said, somebody just hit my DM. They listened to the show.
Okay.
And they wanted me to comment on this. So first, I don't know. A lot of people in the PlayStation community specifically doesn't like RDX, and I have no problem with those guys. Matter of fact, I'm really quite fond of Dealer, and so people are always trying to pit me against RDX. And
They try. Yeah, I see it.
Right. So the thing is, here's the thing, and I've said this before. I'll say it again. I know
Said it multiple times.
Yeah, so look, man, Dealer is Xbox centric, right? He is an Xbox fan, but Dealer still highlights, hey, but you're still going to need the developers to do this. You're still going to need the tooling. If you listen to his videos, his recent videos, almost every time he takes the time to mention, hey, it's not just the hardware. The hardware is great, but you need these other things, period. And so that's why I will continue to support Dealer, because he tries to tell the whole story. He will slant it towards Xbox, but he's still telling the whole story. That being said, for months now, if you look at my Twitter account, it's easy to see. It's all public record. I've said repeatedly, it takes tools, compilers, developer skill, talent, resources. And that's still true now. Mm-hmm. It is true that the Xbox tooling is a little behind. And so people now, because they have such a distaste for RDX, and because I guess I haven't even heard this, but apparently certain members from RDX have been saying that the tooling is why Xbox is being outperformed by PlayStation right now. I mean, that is true. And I know you may not want to hear it, but that is true. But that does not mean that when the tooling is up to snuff, that then Xbox is going to surpass PlayStation. That's not what it means at all. All it means is, of those 6 things that I listed, dev, skill and talent, tooling, compilers, time and resources, Xbox right now is falling short on one of those. When they get the tooling up to snuff and the tooling is the same and everybody's on level ground, you still have those 5 other things on the list. Okay, the hardware is in place, the tooling is in place. Who has the best dev skill and talent? Who has the most time to complete their game? Who has the most resources for motion capture and the higher orchestras and symphonies? Like, there are a lot of things that goes into building a game, and no one thing is going to be the determining factor. But if one thing is off, it definitely puts you at a disadvantage. So just because I'm telling y'all, don't be capping, saying the tooling ain't the problem, the tooling is the fucking problem. But once the tooling is fixed, that doesn't mean that it's going to magically start exceeding all this other stuff. Because as the Xbox tools gets better, the PlayStation tools are also evolving. So tooling is important, is vastly important. It is one of the big six, and you cannot discount tooling. And you cannot say that, well, if the tooling ain't there, the system should still perform as advertised. That's not true. So there's no need to make a bunch of false claims in order to show your distaste for a certain podcast. I know people don't like them. I understand why people don't like them, but that is no reason for you then to start capping for a bunch of shit that ain't true and then also spreading misinformation. Yeah, so that's about all I want to say.
That's the fact losers. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the fact that they said that the multi-black games were all that stuff that Dealer and them said, that's public record. So that I've seen that now appearing online. So they said a lot of stuff that was incorrect, and I just will leave it there, because what Cole said is correct.
You don't have to leave it there, Craig. Like, Dealer will tell you I've been wrong about stuff. And
that's what I'm saying. I leave it there. There's no.
Let me say that. So if you look on my Twitter timeline again, I've highlighted this at least 3 times.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I'm like, look, everybody can be wrong, including me. Like, especially me. I will be wrong about things. That's just human nature. The point is, when you are wrong, did you legitimately misunderstand something? And then how do you handle it when you're wrong? If you
I agree.
There's been multiple times where Dealer has admitted, like, okay, I'm wrong about this. I take an L on this multiple times. You know?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Ask for more than that.
Well, that's what I was just saying. If you can look at their public record and you can ascertain that what they said was incorrect to what you're seeing now, because like Porter Rock said, you have the stuff in your hands, it's in your house, people have it, and there's no reason to really go in on them, because you can just like, look, here's what you said then, here's the reality, let's leave it there. There's no reason to accentuate it and go in and mock and whatever they're doing,
whatever the little beefs are, people gonna do that stuff, but like.
I'm telling you, if RDX was RDP and it was a PlayStation podcast, no one would have any.
Exactly.
It would be flipped.
Or the other group, yeah. So
it would be 100% flipped. Their biggest issue with them is that they're Xbox guys.
So Luca hit it on the nail. So since I'm behind the mic, I'm fair when it's on a live podcast. Like if there was Twitter, I'll be talking shit right now, right? Because Twitter, I don't care about being serious on Twitter. I lost all hope. Optimus knows I have no hope for Twitter. When people can't even read at a basic 3rd grade level, I'm like, screw this shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I really don't give a damn about me talking shit on Twitter, and people, you need to be more positive. I'm like, are you kidding me? People can't even read on the 3rd grade level on this app. Like, hell no. I'm talking shit because that's what I enjoy. But on a podcast, I'm going to be serious, right?
Yeah.
So number one, right? And this goes to both PlayStation-centric podcasts. It doesn't really matter, right? Me personally, I refrain from making statements that I personally cannot verify or control myself, right? You will never see me say PlayStation 5 will deliver this. Because I don't know. I have no control of that. I could say I hope PlayStation delivers this. Like when it talk about like when Sony mentioned talking about game development using the SSD to change game design, I say I hope that comes true and I look forward to that.
Yeah,
but I will never
believe that.
But I will never. But I will never tell people Sony will do that because that's not on me. I don't know if they can deliver that promise, and I have no control over that. Right?
Yep.
I seen this on the PlayStation side, with big PlayStation personalities like MBG, whatever, and I seen it on RDX, and I seen it on other podcasts. They make claims on something they really don't have control over. Like, none of these guys make games. They don't make games. So, both sides of the house make promises that they personally cannot deliver. Now, what ends up happening is, and just like Luca pointed out,
don't listen to anyone in the community.
She's like, it's trash. This community's trash. It's like Luca.
Community's trash.
But like what Luca said, right? Because RDX is an Xbox-centric podcast. The PlayStation guys will listen to Dealer when he makes a claim, and then when he's proven wrong, they won't listen to him when he admits he's wrong. They'll never hear that. They'll never hear when he admits he's wrong. That never those and that's like, and vice versa with the PlayStation guys. When a PlayStation guy says something, makes a promise, the Xbox guys will hold them to that, but they won't listen when the PlayStation guys like, hey guys, I'm wrong, this didn't happen. No one ever hears the apology because it doesn't fit their narrative. When they try to paint that person as in a certain light, it doesn't work, and that's just how the game goes. Big issue.
Most people, and this goes for like, this is why clickbait for these journalists is such a thing, right? No one reads past the headline. They'll just, or no one listens past the first 2 minutes of a video. They're like, I got what I wanted, and then they just move on, refusing to acknowledge that maybe there's some more clarification further along, you know? And it's just really unfortunate that if I can just go on a rant about gaming journalists and how they complain about stuff, like there's too many holes in the Xbox Series X, so they can't buy it, or how they're like, this isn't
that fear of holes,
trypophobia. And this isn't like a gaming. This isn't a gaming journalist. This is like Ubisoft apologized for so-called ableism in Valhalla, you know, because of a line of dialogue or whatever. Like, it's stuff like this when it comes to like this gaming space where I'm just like, everything is just ridiculous and I can't take anyone seriously when it comes to a lot of this stuff. But that being said, you know, the RDX guys are my bros and you guys are my bros, you know? And I feel like I'm very fair when it comes to my assessment of people. Dealer will acknowledge if he's made a mistake.
Yeah, he does.
That being said,
but
people do not watch
nobody will
the first 2 minutes of his videos. So,
and even if he admits his mistake, nobody will. They're like they'll hear everything else he said except for the apologies. That never exists, you know. So that's just how the game goes. Me personally, I just don't make absolutes on something that I don't control over. I'm not gonna say the PS5 is gonna have these games developed that Xbox simply can't do. How do I know that? Like how? So even if I had, even if I had a connection, right? I'm like, well, if this statement is true, then how come you don't say it to everybody? Oh, no, I can't say that. Like, you think about it, right? If a developer, if I know some insider and the developer's telling me, oh, that this is going to happen, then why don't you tell people that? Why I got to be the one to tell you? You know what I'm saying? Because if it doesn't come out true, I look like the asshole. So, like, I have people in my DMs all the time. Oh yeah, PlayStation. Hey, I work for this company, and I don't tweet like me. I don't get in the business of insider. I don't want to be an insider. I don't care because I don't trust none of y'all. Because I get DMs all the time. Hey, I work for this company. Tell people that the PS5 does this and this. I reply, why don't you say something? Why I gotta be the one to say it? I'm not the one making the game. You are. So you tell people that. Oh no, I can't do that because I get the fuck out of here. Because if it doesn't happen, I look like the asshole. Like, no, I'm not tweeting no insider shit. I don't care. At the end of the day, the game's gonna come out one way or another, and I prefer that.
Everybody will see it then. Right. So here's the thing. So Rock, your strategy about not making promises and claims. So that's a good one. But so sometimes you will have information, right? So like people have talked to me behind the scenes in DMs and on Discord. And so here's the thing. You can always protect yourself by simply saying, well, hey, the evidence supports this happening, but we don't know if it will because ultimately it's going to be up to the devs, the talent, so on and so forth. But the hardware is like this good or whatever it is. And that's all you have to say. Mm-hmm. This idea is supported by this, but we don't actually know what's going to happen. So we're not going to make these promises. Like you said earlier, we're not going to write checks that we don't have to cash. And then another thing, I really don't feel, because I hate it, like I told you before, I'm a grown man, and I hate it when y'all, not you on this panel, but like the community puts me in a position where I have to like be a cheerleader for somebody. I really hate that. But I also don't like lies and misinformation being spread. So the thing is, I'm not standing with Dealer, although I would. What I'm doing is standing up for what's true. Yeah. And what's true is that everybody makes mistakes, and at least he does a good job of trying to tell the whole story. And one other thing, a lot of people blame him for all of RDX. Dealer, he has told me personally, and I'm pretty sure he said it publicly too. I have to look and see, but he's told me, and he's told the community, look, I don't always agree with everything the guys say on RDX. And so what happens is there are 7 or 8 people on that panel. No matter who says it, people are going to say dealer said ABC.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
That's true.
Yeah, he didn't say that, and he don't even agree with it. It just happened on his show.
Yeah.
And so, like, y'all got to stop with this foolishness attacking that man because he's successful. That's why all the hate is aimed at him and Colt is because
that could be that too,
they're successful.
Now, Colt, he did some. I'll just leave that alone, man.
Well,
he did say some outlandish shit, like some.
That's another podcast.
Say that's it. Something is funny. I find it funny because it's humorous. To me, it's just funny. Like, some of the shit I read is fucking fun. Like, I actually talk, I'm like, yo, that shit's pretty funny. And it's going to trigger a lot of people, and it does. It's just funny. I just see the humor in it all. And that's how I see it. I see it just entertainment. I see it. Like, one of my favorite, like, right now, one of my favorite people on Twitter right now is King David. Right now.
Yeah, he's very funny.
I love the shit he does.
When he says the stuff about TCL, guys, oh my God.
But the thing is, the PlayStation dudes just can't help it. It's like moth to a flame. Like, he just trashes the PlayStation. Like, I talked to him privately, and he loves the PlayStation. But these dudes, like, he just be like, man, PlayStation 5 is trash. And they, like, forcing them, no, but you gotta play this. He's like, I ain't playing shit. Like,
yeah,
in fact,
he's very funny.
And he's like, I'm boxing it up and putting it in the closet. Got no games. And they just, it's so funny. And I just start laughing like these dudes don't get it. And he's a funny dude. He's one of my favorite personalities out there because his shit is he's funny.
But what I'll say about RDX is that their egos did write a lot of checks that they not gonna be able to cash. But everybody can see it.
I'm gonna give RDX credit. I'm gonna give RDX credit.
They've been right about stuff too.
Yeah, so Luca, that's exactly what I'm gonna hit about. Because I'm gonna be honest. Let's all keep it 100. When they came down to insider information, the Xbox community and the guys talking about it were more right. Not 100% completely right, but they were more right than the PlayStation community. Like, almost none of the shit from PlayStation insiders came true. Like, nothing. Like, nothing. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, nothing. Like, nothing. The PlayStation 3-2-1 emulation, like, nothing came out. 13 T-flops, like, nothing came out. Like, nothing. Like, if you would think that we would even get insider tip on the controller. We didn't even get that. Like, we got no insider information, right? At least the Xbox guys, they were closer to a lot of things. Like, obviously not absolutely perfect, but they had a lot of information right about their console, and it ended up being true. PlayStation.
And they're not, the consoles they've not disclosed everything that they have. But yeah, they did say that ray tracing and multiplats would be better on the Series X based on the paper specs. That's not true. We know that.
That's why I said it's not 100%. But they were like PlayStation. We got nothing right. Like, we got nothing right.
Well, yeah, but
like, no insider information.
Shouldn't go in on them.
Insiders aren't necessarily credible people.
Yeah, that's true.
When it comes to some of the stuff,
especially PlayStation insiders.
For Demon Souls, I'm stuck in a wall.
Okay. Oh God! And I'm telling you, like you got PlayStation dudes writing haikus on Twitter trying to give out hints. Like, what the fuck is we doing here? Like, Foxy,
I did see that.
My man wrote a haiku, like a poem, and none of it came true. I'm like, yo, this is wild. Like, we got nothing right. Like, nothing. Like,
I don't understand those haikus on what's that, Ghost of Tsushima you were writing. I'm like, what are we doing this
like,
for?
Yo, we got nothing right. So I'm like, but I don't really care about insider information because at the end of the day, it really doesn't do anything because
I would rather wait for the information to come out.
I'd rather just for the game to come out, period. And I can see it and play it and then accept it for what it is than for, because I put it this way. If you promise me something and I buy into it, right? And I'm thinking, oh, really? Yeah, does this? Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, hell yeah, I can't wait. And then the product comes out and doesn't do anything that was promised. Then what do I do now? Do I change my stance now? Do I accept the mediocrity? Do I accept the downgrade? Like what do I do now? Like what happens now? Like, let's say somebody says, oh my God, PSVR 2 is going to be native 4K 120 and it's going to do ray tracing and all this stuff. And I buy into it. Let's say I fall as a sucker. I'm like, man, MBG said this is going to do it. Hell yeah, it's going to do it. And the actual VR doesn't even do half of that. So now what do I do? Do I complain? Like, what? As a consumer, what do I do?
Do I still buy it? Do I accept the mediocrity? Do I change my view now on what I want from VR2? Like, where do I stand on that? And that's why I don't listen to these insiders. Because why? Why would I do that to myself?
You always keep the same energy, Porter Rock, honestly, from what I've noticed.
Oh, really?
To the detriment. Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah, on the podcast, yes. On a Twitter, though, I'm a totally different person. I'm Jekyll and Hyde. I'm Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm stuck in an infinite loop, and I'm currently falling through the game in Demon Souls. So, I'm in a glitch right now.
Oh, that's
not part of the game?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking.
So like when the person respawns, you fall again?
Yeah, I'll take the... Oh, and then I just died. Okay, I should be able to go back to the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
In Last of Us 2, I had some kind of way I had saved right when I was on the edge of this, right when you're trying to get through that hotel with the little boy girl thing.
The little boy
and
oh my god.
I fell.
The LBG is about to go on my timeline and destroy me now.
I fell off this ledge, and every time I respawned, I fell again immediately. I load up an earlier save and had to replay almost that entire level.
That sucks.
Flickers and all of that shit, man. I was so frustrated.
Oh man, yeah, I hate and I think that's not gonna go away anytime soon. Especially the more intense the game design is, the more chance there's gonna be a glitch. It is what it is, I guess.
It is what it is.
Right. So is that it? Is that it, Craig?
Those are the questions I had, and maybe next week they'll throw some more. Some people were asking any word on where they could try to get a PS5 or Series X. So
tell people to check the direct PlayStation website, because that's where I got mine. They've been like randomly putting up, "Hey, we have stock. You just got to go in queue." And even though it seems helpless, just stay in queue, because that's what I did. I was in queue from 11 p.m. That is 11 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. and I ended up getting my PlayStation like the day of. So it's possible.
Yeah,
sure will.
Yeah,
thanks.
Luca just don't want to go to jail. What she really did was get that ski mask, get that chopper, and murk somebody. Just camp out at GameStop. Once they walk out that store, yo, run your shit, son. And that's it. And there you go. You got yourself a PlayStation 5.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. Hey, thanks for rocking out. We're gonna say our little outros right here, starting with Luca. Thank you for showing up on this last spur of the moment.
Me.
All right.
Yeah, no, you guys can find me on Twitter at @TheActionLuca. If you have any issue with anything I said today on the show, I don't care. So you guys have a nice night, and see you.
And your podcast, miss?
Yes,
where can we find you?
I run a podcast called Scumcast, and we talk about a variety of topics, mostly gaming, but we'll do TVs, movies, TV shows, movies, sometimes politics, social issues, anime. Yes, we talk a lot about anime. So
okay, date and time, or should we just like?
Yes, it's Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and on my channel I also listen. I've been slacking because I've been playing these games.
But I've been, you.
I'm supposed to be making videos for my channel, but I've been playing video games instead. So
screw that shit.
Yeah,
right, there you go. Optimus Code, of course. Optimus, when are you gonna do that? Didn't we talk about you doing a channel where you look at games from a developer's perspective, or you look at other developers and you try to critique them? When are we gonna get that? When are you gonna drop this knowledge? Because you hold it now on a lot of knowledge.
I was talking to Hard Eight, and he told me, like, man, don't believe what these dudes tell you. They say they want a channel. We gonna support you. Next thing you know,
man, listen, Hard Eight, man. That's the last person you want to listen to, man. That dude, yo, he's a pessimist. There were times he'd be like, you know what? I ain't podcasting ever again. Y'all can't even hit the like button. Screw y'all.
You sound just like it. Kofi was on last night, and Kofi was like, man, you'll hit Control Alt Delete in a minute, boy. Things be going fine. Next thing you know, I ain't doing it no more. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I think there's a well, look at the channel. He just started. It's still a hobby, But it blew up. He has like on that because I think he has 2 channels. One channel he's actually teaching C++. He uses it as and there's only like 10 people subscribed to that. And then the one channel where he's reviewing, giving his perspective as a dev, he has like 400,000 subscribers. So I honestly think that there is a place, and if you just keep it, you stay away from the crumb side, and you just, from your perspective, how a game looks, how whatever, I think you could grow to that. I think it'd be slow. Like Hardy, he wants this shit like tomorrow. Like if he ain't got 1 million subscribers, he ain't doing it. Like my man wants this shit tomorrow, like tonight. Like he wants his, NBA. Like if he joined the basketball league, he wants his NBA trophy now. Like he ain't waiting 82 games. He ain't playing 82 games. Give me the trophy now. Like or he ain't playing. But it'll be really interesting to, and we'll look at it this way. When you talk about it on Twitter, how many people gravitate towards yours the moment you talk about it on Twitter? Like everybody just, like Moth to a Flame, they just jump on it and everybody's just saying, of course you're going to have your trolls, but a lot of people just sit there and listen and they ask you questions. And I think, that would be a good thing.
We'll see. I don't know, because right now when I share information, it's easy for people to understand I'm giving it to them in the purest form. Yeah. If I got a channel, then all of a sudden now it's to drive engagement in YouTube. And
well, when you think about it, it's real simple. You'd be surprised what a 5-minute video, 7-minute video could do. A simple 5-7-minute video, that's what you got to do. And what happens is, instead of being limited to text, you actually articulate it in an open way that you want. And then
say the whole thing. Yeah. We'll see what's up. That's a good point, Rock.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, that being said, y'all can find me on Twitter if you really want to. I'm easy to find if you really want to find me. If you don't, then that's cool. And then on Sunday nights, I rock out with Hard 8 on Any Given Sunday podcast. Rock, man, you should call in and hang out with us, man. Should look at you a couple times.
You know what's the problem is? West Coast time got me fucked up because...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't realize how early things are by the time it's too late. Like, I think, Luca's podcast is about to start, and it's like 3 o'clock my time, and it's like 6 o'clock her time. It's already over. And I'm like, shit.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
I be missing my Giants game. Like kickoff was like at 10 in the morning. I'm like,
oh man, you should be watching them. They trash.
I'm like, damn. I'm used to kickoff being at 1, and I'm like, holy shit, the kickoff was at 10 in the morning. Like, damn. Like, so it's like that. And Craig, what you got going on?
You come find me tomorrow. I'm going to be showing off my new monitor that I bought at Best Buy, 32 inches of love. And, I'm going to talk about the Bethesda deal. That more information came out today about the Bethesda deal. And a couple more things.
Did it really go? But I guess I'll wait till tomorrow to hear what you got.
Yeah, a little more information. And then I'm going to talk about Marvel re-released their slate of movies, and Sony's Morbius movies slated to come out in March. So I'm going to be talking about that a little bit. Yeah.
All right, all right. Awesome. Okay. Thanks everybody for the chat, for rocking out with us. Ashton, thank you so much, Luca.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
Girl, and now today you were a guest, right? After today, you're now family. So that means you get your own damn drink in the fridge. That means I gave you rights. You could jump in on the podcast anytime you're in. You don't need an invite. Again, just go to the fridge, get your own damn drink, because I ain't serving you no more. you just jump right in whenever you feel like it.
Fuck you piece of... Okay, yes. Yeah.
She's stressing out right now. All right. Hey, Optimus, always a pleasure. I'm glad.
I really appreciate that. I'm sorry. I just did real quick, I just did the Old Monk fight.
Oh, shit.
You know how that is?
Yes,
where they summon in a player NPC.
Yes.
These fucking cucks, dude. I literally walk in the room and they're fucking behind me. Like, what's good? Like, one did like a fucking firestorm spell. I didn't even finish walking in the room. I'm like, dude, you're a cuck. Fuck you. But, thank you so much for having me. You know, your family, you're always welcome on Scumcast as well. So,
of course, thank you so much. And everybody else, hey, I hope you guys have a great night. For those of you who got next generation consoles, I hope you're enjoying them and it's everything that you wanted them to be.
Enjoy the bag.
Yeah, and then for those who didn't, don't be disheartened. Man, mores are coming. You know,
I'm very disheartened.
Don't give in to scalpers. They're
no,
fucking,
don't.
I agree.
They're bastards. Don't give in to them.
Fuck the damn scalpers. Yeah, don't.
Hey, I do not concur with this shit. You got to do what you got to do. Goddamn.
Of course you would, sir. Of course.
My man,
you got to make a decision.
Optimus like, it's hard out here for a pimp.
You got to make a decision.
He's like, you gotta hustle. You know, gotta hustle hard. You know, not screw that. You know what I'm saying? But don't worry, more consoles will come. And by the time you know it, there's going to be so many on the shelf that it's going to be like normal. All right? And then that's it. All right? And then for those of you who have messed up consoles, I hope you're able to get them repaired quickly so you can get back to gaming. And please get back to gaming. Don't be doing this weird shit.
Play some games.
I don't want to see no more videos of consoles breaking. Like
running over consoles.
Like,
I tell you what, though. No, whoever made that Series X ice cream cake, I need that. I want that, you know, because that looked delicious. You know, I would like to have something like that. Somebody made a Series X. It was just a chocolate like ice cream cake. And they it looked very good, very very delicious. You can do that, but don't run over stuff, guys. Come on.
Yeah, don't break them. Like, man, like I'm just done. Like, just like I just. You know, God just
saying that stuff, man.
Like God just announced the 7 trumpets and just end everything. Like just that's it, man. Just break the 7th seal already. Like that's it. Humanity lives its out usefulness. Like that's it.
Right.
You're not gonna get anything more out of us anymore. So just break the 7th seal, get it over with. Just end it all. Just end it all.
Send the Chinese Jesus. Let's get
that's
it over
it. All right. Oh wow. Anyway, we're out of here. Later. Take care, everybody.